upfront fees. You might even be able to delay 2 mortgage payments, saving you even more money. American Financing. You call them and tell them Michael Brown sent you. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online, AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.6% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
It's the Dan Kaplan Show. Afternoons 4 to 6.
It's going to be a stormy Thursday in more ways than one. Congresswoman Bolbert joins us to talk about Ken Buck's maneuvers, which appear designed to undercut her. Join us at 4:06.
This looks like just standard analog drum.
Yeah.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm here to help you solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints, make your life a little easier. On tap today, I got Grossman Wellness, Dr. Terry Grossman, a friend, and he is also my doctor, and he will be on, so he does have permission to talk about the fact that I'm his doctor because all that HIPAA crap, you know. Anyway, so we'll be talking to him about health and wellness in a way you may not have heard before. And then we'll talk to anybody who calls with problems, questions, complaints. I also want to talk about the TikTok ban because I really delved into that, and I have some serious questions about it. And pie. As soon as I said that, people are reaching for the knife and fork. The history of pie, P-I. I have no idea why we have Pi Day and why it's important, but we do. And pi, just without looking it up, what's pi? Real quick, what is it? What's the ratio? What is it? 3 point what? You remember? 3.14, right?
It's today's date.
3.14159.
And it goes on. And
it goes on infinitely.
And never repeats.
Never repeats.
And
that's
Tom,
what's
it's
amazing.
Today's date.
What's that?
It is today's date.
Oh, that's why it's okay.
3/14.
What an idiot I am. I'm wondering why they picked it as Pi Day.
I would never use those words.
Oh, my God. So you made it in, Shannon, and I hear Kachina back there. She made it in. Mark is a big wuss bag.
Remote.
Oh, you're there. I was going to talk about you. You didn't make it in, though, did you? How many?
I can't make it out of my driveway. Are you nuts?
What snow do you? He's out in Franktown area. How much snow?
I'd say 30 inches so far without blinking.
Okay. Well, everyone knows what the city has, and I'm in the city, and I did have to drive this morning. Long story, but I did have to drive. I had to meet somebody, and I do want to mention, by the way, that Premier Window Cleaning and Pressure Washing is doing snow removal today on a no obligation basis. In other words, a lot of people don't have contracts or they expired or, what I'm saying is, and now it's March and they're saying, who do I get to remove this snow? And anyway, they want you to know they're going to be doing it at Premier. Okay, and I'm going to give you that number. So that now they don't have a plow for big parking lots, but they'll do residential driveways. So they have snow blowers and shovels and people, and they're ready, willing, and able to get to you. Okay, 720-953-0078 for immediate snow removal on a case-by-case, I need it now basis. In other words, they're not obligating you to a contract or anything. But if you want one, they'll get you one. 720-953-0078. TrustPremierWindow.com. That's if you need snow removal. Let me go to the phones, and then we'll talk to Dr. Grossman. And Deputy Doc didn't make it in, did he? Did he? He didn't make it.
He's remote as well.
He's remote as well. Because he's an old poker buddy of Dr. Grossman here. I guess doctors like to gamble and play golf. Anyway, Danny, what's going on? Danny?
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry.
What's happening?
Well, first off, I just wanted to say I have listened to your show for quite a long time. So,
how old are you, Danny?
Come on.
How old are you?
35.
35. So it would have preceded your birth. And did you get introduced to it by your dad or your uncle or grandfather or something?
Yeah, I remember my parents and my grandparents listening to you
That's
back
how it
in the
works.
90s.
Welcome aboard. What's going on?
I just had a question about, I received a debt collection letter from a collection agency, and I filed a dispute with them.
What is the debt for? Is it something you recognize?
Yes, it's a cell phone. It's a leftover amount for a previous cell phone company I was with. That I went in on the contract with my brother.
How old is the
ended
debt?
up 6 months.
Okay, because 6 years or longer, they can't file for a judgment, so it really doesn't have any legs. So anyway, do you want to settle this debt? Is that what you're calling about?
Well, I wanted to dispute the debt because things kind of went south between my brother and myself.
Well, what do you want us to dispute? If you're on the contract and you had a problem with your brother not coming through, you can't dispute the debt with the collector. The creditor doesn't care. So was it you and your brother on this bill?
Correct. We were both on the bill, and what ended up happening was I had removed myself from the account, and then he went after I had removed
How did you
myself
remove
from
yourself?
the account. We both got on the phone and talked to the cell phone company, and I had to give authorization to split from the account, that he would take over the control of the account. He didn't want to change carriers.
Did you get any kind of confirmation in writing or anything?
No, I did not.
So right now they're simply going to say it's a joint account. They're going to show the original contract. What would you have to prove you weren't on it?
I don't think I have anything.
How much are they trying to get from
that
you?
account? It's $470.
Where's your deadbeat brother?
That's an entirely different question. I don't know.
Oh, wow. So you were once on the account. You claim you were taken off the account, but you have nothing to show it. I have bad news for you, Danny. Seriously. I mean, they don't have to take you off. I mean, anyone can say that. Any kind of collection in the world, I can say, I was taken off that.
Okay.
I mean, that's the bottom line. Unless you can tell me, here's what I have a confirmation number, or I don't know. I mean, if they don't acknowledge it, how long ago were you taken off the account?
Probably about 8 months before that. So it's been less than a year.
Okay, well, that's
pretty
good.
sure I can
That's
bill.
good. Will they at least go back and check phone records? Do you have a date?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that could be done. My question was more along the lines of, I filed a dispute with the credit agency, and they just, instead of responding to it, they just sold my debt to somebody else.
You mean the cell phone company sold your debt?
Well, the cell phone company sold to a collection agency, and then I disputed that.
Right.
I sent them certified mail, disputed it, and instead of responding to me, that credit agency, I'm assuming, sold it to a different credit agency, because I received the same collection for a different company.
They can do that.
They don't have to.
No.
I don't have to respond if you dispute it.
No. Nope.
Oh man.
The credit reporting agency does, not the creditor. A creditor should respond, but they don't have to. They can just say you owe the money, or they can sell the debt. You don't have any special rights for them to respond. I wish you did, because it would keep people out of court. But I think you would lose it anyway. I don't know on what basis you're. What I would say, if you're going to dispute it with the new people, simply say it was your brother's account, not yours. Make them prove it. I'll bet you they don't have the original contract. I mean, you can try to play your bluff that way. That would be the best way to do it. Already I'm getting a text. By the way, you can always text the show 57739. Already I'm getting a text when they heard Dr. Grossman on Grossman Wellness. I call it concierge medicine. I mean, not me, but that's what everyone calls certain kinds of medicine. Is that what you call your medicine, concierge medicine, Dr. Grossman? Is that basically it?
Well, concierge medicine, a lot of people are becoming disenchanted with having to, wait long periods of time to see their doctors.
Yeah.
And they want a more personalized relation. Doctors are under the gun to see many patients per day, et cetera. So they've turned to this concierge model where people pay a certain amount of money every month, and then they have greater access to doctors And it's typically not an insurance-based model.
Now, but you've been doing it way longer than I heard about it. And the concierge has become popular the last 5 years, but you've been doing this way longer than that.
Oh, yeah, we've been doing it for 25 years.
So what made you go into that model?
I became, I'm a regular medical doctor.
Right.
But I became a little bit disenchanted with conventional therapies and more interested in more alternative, holistic, complementary therapies.
And longevity stuff. And
stuff because
metabolic
I was
stuff.
getting older myself.
Right.
And so as I moved into this model, I found that it really didn't fit with an insurance-based practice.
Right.
So I became...
Because it's a wellness practice. It's not come to me when you're sick. It's come to me regularly and you won't get sick. Or we try to not. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what our model is. And so people pay a small amount of money each month, and then they have access.
But most medicine should be that way.
I think it really should. I think we're moving towards that model more and more.
I want to know one question here, another text real quick. What's the most common mistake people make? Just if you had to pick one, when they come to see you, what's the most common thing you see?
Stress. By far.
Meaning what? They don't deal with it or they have it?
They have it. Everybody that I
and
meet.
it takes a toll on you.
It takes a toll on
physically.
Your health. Yeah, it really does. I mean, I think we're all stressed out by one thing or another, and I think stress interferes with so many of our health
What can you do about stress?
Take more vacations, get a massage.
But there are actually supplements that can help.
Yeah, you take stress-fighting supplements. There are a couple great herbal supplements. There's one I like called Rhodiola, Rhiodola, Rhodiola rosea, and it seems to work as good as like Valium.
No, I know.
Like
do you like ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha.
Yeah, ashwagandha is an Ayurvedic herb, and it's also a great stress reliever. Helps your body deal with stress.
All right, we got more coming up. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Any and all calls on anything right after this.
This is Dan Kaplis. Car crashes are a form of violence. Car crashes instantly shatter innocent lives. Our firm has a historically great record of achieving economic justice for the victims of motor vehicle crashes. We accept righteous motor vehicle crash cases on a percentage fee basis. If you need my help, please call 303-770-5551 or hit dancaplislaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S law.com.
GenesisTotalExteriors.com. The name says it all. Anything on the outside of your house, they can take care of. Storm damage, problems with the roof, the siding, maybe stucco, or you want to convert to stucco, windows, doors, decks, painting. They do it all. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. They do free quotes and general home improvements or insurance damage, which they can all put on one invoice for you, one source, one contact. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. So, Shannon, $5 off dot cleaning. No dangerous soaps or chemicals. 303-471-5150. ZeroResDenver.com.
Can you add a little modulation to that?
Oh, shut
Why
up.
that sounded like that?
I was just wondering, did you drive today?
No.
You just stayed at the station?
Since 2018. Are you new here?
Oh, God.
No, I've not had a place since 2018, Tom.
You're homeless?
Correct.
I thought that was just a rumor.
No. What the? Yeah, let me spread it. And I also have an extremely large. No, yeah, why would I spread that rumor? That's a good one. It's been great. You would be shocked at how much I don't spend on rent.
Or mortgage?
Oh, my gosh.
Or homeowners insurance or utilities?
I hear people talking about that. Electricity's gone up so much. I don't know. Bob Pittman keeps covering mine.
If I was younger and single, I might get a Mercedes Sprinter van and deck the shit out of it and just use it and say screw everything shelter-wise.
No, you wouldn't.
Do you know how much you could save? You'd get the best. You could deck it out with everything you want.
He can hear you, Kelly.
All 20 square feet.
Hey, Tom.
What?
Are you done with Danny?
Yeah, there's not much I can do for him. I hate to say that, but especially since he listened since he was a kid. But the first thing is he can try to bullshit him and dispute it, make him show the contract.
Actually, what he said is he remembers listening along with his great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah.
I don't think he said that.
That's mean.
You are a walking billboard for the
Every
doctor,
single time, I swear to God, it's a joke. Stephanie and I have an inside joke. Every time a young, attractive woman comes up to me, they say, Tom Martino, I listen to you. My grandmother loves you.
Oh, God.
My grandmother loves you.
That's actually a very good compliment.
It is.
All right, Shani, how do you think that you're going to be able to forward the calls tomorrow and then get Jazzy to punch him up?
Well, you'll have to give him the numbers to call the people back, right?
On call screener.
Yeah, so he'll dial the people up.
Yeah.
Once you've talked to him.
Right.
Right?
Or he can just take the call.
Well, why forward him to you then?
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily burden Jeff with too much of that.
I can, if you know how to forward them, I'd be happy to sit there
And screen him and then
Yeah.
give him the numbers to call back. Yep.
And like, dole out the idiots that just want referral list
Whatever, yeah.
numbers.
Well, they're not.
How much time do I have?
1 minute remaining.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'm not as good as Roach at an Avs game. 1 minute remaining. That's what he says.
No, your impression of Roach.
I saw stuff happen to him in a hot tub once. I can't impersonate that. He did, however, say, "Who knew it provided oxygen as well?" She was under the water. The best. Love that guy.
I do too. Done many events with him. I always enjoyed it.
He
He's a
used to
good
give
guy.
us his daughter's hand-me-downs. So for years, Mary was dressed in roach wear. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's make more magic.
630 KHOW.
An iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Jeff has a problem with a dumpster. Jeff, what's happening?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
What's going on, man?
Last September, I rented a 20-yard dumpster from a place called Big Bob's Dumpster. They charged me $300.
And what was it? What did you rent it for?
Oh, I put yard stuff in it. I filled it up.
Okay.
So about 4 days ago, I got a collection agency calling me saying I owe another place called Trash Daddy Dumpster $600 for the rental. Now,
so you already paid for what was the guy's name? Big Bob's?
Big Bob's Dumpster.
You
right.
You already paid for that one.
Right. But I got a hold of Trash Daddy Dumpster, and this is what happened. They were scammed a lot.
Uh-oh.
A person that I rented from Trash Daddy. I paid Big Bob's Dumpster, which is, I don't even think, a legit company, and they put it on a credit card, disputed the charges, so they didn't
How did they trace you?
Daddy.
How did they trace you, man? How did they know you had their dumpster for that time?
Because it was my address.
Oh.
I'd say he's got an affirmative defense.
I don't know if he does or
what
not.
happened was...
I mean, what I'm saying is that
he paid the subcontractor in full. If he has the receipts from Big Bob's, I think he would win in court.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah,
say
'cause
one
the
thing that
collection
could possibly step in the way of that. Could possibly. What if, for example, Big Bob stole some supplies and installed them at his house? I'm not saying this is the same thing, but I'm just giving a scenario.
And he paid Big Bob in full for him?
Yeah.
Then he would have an affirmative defense.
If he had certain things, his residence, his contract, proof of payment in full, but there's also something else here. With the dumpster, I know why they're going after him. Trash Daddy's thinking we're going to get paid probably if we go after the customer, but there's something else called quantum merit, which means you got value and didn't pay for it. I do agree that he's a victim, they're both victims, but I don't know how it would shake out. Jeff, how far is Trash Daddy, how much was the bill, how much does Trash Daddy want?
Okay, well, they charge $600, but this is what happened real quick.
Well, how much do they want from you?
About $600.
All right, keep going. What were you going to say?
Okay, well, I contacted Trash Daddy. They were very, very cooperative and helpful. They have a 5-star rating.
Good.
They said that, you know what, we got ripped off about $11,000 in a 2-month period. They worked with me and said, you know what, you got ripped off, we got ripped off. We're going to squash this.
Good.
So they were very helpful. But I want people to know that the collection agency said they could put a lien on my house for this, even though I paid Big Bob.
Well,
Big
hold
Bob's
on.
is
If Trash Daddy doesn't want to pursue it, why would the collection agency pursue it?
Well, first of all, I was contacted by the collection agency. Then I contacted Trash
I get
Daddy.
that, but did Trash Daddy sell that to them, or are they, because Trash Daddy simply can tell the collectors stop collecting?
No, you've seen
Well,
these
that's exactly
contracts,
what they
Tom.
did.
We've looked at them. These contracts are straightforward. Once you agree to it, they get to decide what they do. They basically own the debt.
Yeah, if that was the case, that's what I was asking. Is Trash Daddy still in charge here, and they just hired the collection agency, or is the collection agency calling the shots?
Well, I was contacted by the collection agency first. So then they said they could put a lien on my house. I didn't want that to happen, so I reached out to Trash Daddy. But Trash Daddy worked with me.
Okay, so what's happening now?
Well, at first I just want to know if they could put a lien on my house.
I don't think so, but I mean...
They could, but they couldn't perfect it.
Yeah, I mean, it would go away.
Okay. Well, at first I was nervous about that, but then when I reached out to Trash Daddy, they worked with me and were very helpful and cooperative. So I want people to know that just because you rent from one guy doesn't mean that he turned around and rented from another company.
No,
and didn't
I
pay
get what
them.
you're saying, man. I get exactly what you're saying, and I'm really happy that the other place, Trash Daddy, was stand-up people, and they're saying, look, we're not going to make you pay for us getting ripped off.
I do want to cover this one more time for anybody listening out there. If it is your own residence, your home, not a rental, nothing like that, but your home, and you paid a contractor in full, he did not pay his suppliers, he did not pay his contracted labor, doesn't even matter. But if you can prove that you paid in full, you have an affirmative
You have to have a
defense.
written contract. It has to be
That's
a
right.
primary residence, and it has to be paid in full. Mark, I agree. What I'm asking is, I don't think a dumpster rental falls under that. It might, but I don't.
I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean,
because you're renting a dumpster. I don't know. I mean, is that considered a home improvement or a contract on your house? I don't know. I have to look more into the law.
Well, wait a minute. What I'm saying is it's an affirmative defense. If they attempt to lien the property, they'd be going after the property. They would be bringing it into the realm of the property.
Yeah, that's a good point if they try. But Mark, what if someone else gets a judgment and puts a lien on the house?
We should. You know what we should do is ask Brad O'Brien.
And it has nothing to do with the house. That's what I'm getting at. Affirmative defenses for liens are usually for improvements to the property. Now, we could probably make an argument, okay, this is an improvement to the property. It helped improve the property. Who do you think we should check with, like Brad O'Brien?
Yeah, and basically, I'm reading it here. It basically says under Colorado law, suppliers, subcontractors, other persons furnishing labors or providing labor or material for work on your residential property. I mean, that covers like anything I can imagine.
Yeah, it does.
Can I say
I
something?
would like to ask him. I'd like to ask him his opinion, though, sure.
It wouldn't
I
be
want to tell you that I had no idea who Trash Daddy was when I did this. Big Bob.
No, I get it. I get it. You were screwed. I get it.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Trash Daddy till 5 days ago.
No, I totally get it. 303-713-TALK. Hold on, and we're going to try to get Brad O'Brien on to talk about liens in general, because there is an affirmative defense. And again, this is something that a lot of people don't fully understand, and it is only for your primary residence. It's not for commercial contracts. It's also, you have to have a written contract with proof of payment in full, blah, 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 blah. By the way, Dan McKenzie does estate planning work. All you have to do is call him, and he does it in a very easy way. He goes over what you need, and then he gives you prices for what you, for estimates for what you need, whether it's a will, it's a trust, whether it's just staying outside of probate with payable on death certificates or things like that, beneficiaries deeds, whatever it is, you can contact Dan McKenzie, McKenzie Law, 833-CO-PLANS, 833-CO-PLANS.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com.
It's a wintry drive throughout the Denver metro and beyond for the 10 o'clock hour. Southwest Denver seems to be affected the most by the snow on the roads. C-470 slow through Highlands Ranch and the Golden areas. I-25 north and southbound showing sub-highway speeds from 470 to about downtown. I-25 southbound, we have a crash approaching I-225 in the right lane. And I-70 east and westbound remains closed from the Denver area to Silverthorne. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, snow showers throughout the rest of the day, high 35 degrees, starting to taper off tonight with a low of 27, tomorrow high 41. The current temperature in Denver is 32 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to ExpressPros.com to find the location near you. That's ExpressPros.com.
Lazy Days RV. If you're looking for a new or used RV, Lazy Days, the RV Authority. We love these guys. Now they've taken over the big, beautiful maintenance facility that was once Century RV. Our friends at Century RV are still there. Exit 240 and I-25 on the frontage road. A big, beautiful maintenance facility for everyone, and that's really hard to find when you have an RV. So look for lazydays.com for your selection of new and used RVs and for maintenance. If you are looking to convert your 401k, your IRA, or something out of the stock market and you want something more solid, complete, guaranteed, you can get a guaranteed investment, guaranteed returns, guaranteed never to lose any gain, never to lose any principal, and income for life with a fixed indexed annuity. Of course, not all annuities are the same. Don't believe anyone who says they're all bad, and don't believe anyone who says they're all good. Check with Joe Ciano, certified financial planner, at mymoneymyway.com, 303-779-6600.
Yay.
Thanks.
Well, yes, sir.
What?
It's just an honor.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What is Pi? Today's Pi Day. That's why. 314. Yep. I didn't even think about that.
That's all right.
Pi Day. Do you know that somebody at Google wrote a program and it went out to like a billion digits or something?
Oh, yeah. Well, supposedly the you can look this up. Some kid memorized it to 100,000 digits.
Here's what I don't understand. When they say it doesn't repeat, we only have numbers from 1 to 9. So what do they mean it doesn't repeat? I mean, the pattern doesn't repeat, or?
It probably doesn't. It could be. Now, are you ready for this? It could be like a deck of cards. Did you know
what does that mean?
Since decks of cards have been invented, statistically speaking, it is almost impossible for those decks to have ever lined up, for any two decks after shuffling to have lined up in the same order.
Ever.
In the history of playing cards, statistically, it is impossible for two decks to have ever been the same.
So if we take two decks and shuffle them.
Yep. They will never, ever, ever, ever match up. Because the permutations of 52 items.
Nah, I've done it.
Oh, come on.
God, oh my God, you can't. You need your wife to open a jar of pickles. Shut up, Mark. God.
In fact, it's happened twice right here.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Doc, can you get him something?
Deputy Doc just texted me.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says. Does he want to know what day it is again? Hold on. He says, tell Terry I said hello. Okay.
I can.
Yeah, he's listening. Okay. Now, how many doctors? I hear there's a bunch of doctors retiring all about the same time because they're that big chunk of baby boomers. We're losing a bunch of doctors. But how did you find your colleague? How did you find him, Dr. Kelly?
Dr. Kelly was a friend of a doctor. Dr. Kelly just absolutely, I mean, I've been looking.
Good. He shares your.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Was he doing wellness before you?
Every medicine, nose, passionate,
Hmm. Seeing a story about people that tamper with Target gift cards and end up with, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now that's ambition. That's hard work.
Mark, what's the name of that lien law? What is it called again?
Well, I know the statute. I don't know the generic name. Notice of lien law.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Okay. It's not that there's no
Verse
working
Talk
title.
Station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here. You know, a few years ago, there was a law passed that helped people deal with liens, and it basically gave them an affirmative defense if a subcontractor came by and said, hey, we weren't paid, but there were certain conditions. You had to have had it done, the work done at your primary residence. You had to have a written contract, and you had to have proof that you paid the general. Now, Brad, is that correct? First of all, am I remembering that correctly?
I'm not sure if you're describing something besides the mechanics lien.
The statute for a mechanics lien, there was a few years ago or several years ago, the affirmative defense passed, which gave consumers a defense if they could prove they paid the general.
Oh, and then the general didn't pay the subs.
Right.
Yeah, that's a trust fund statute type of a claim.
Do you know? We were just curious. Jeff rented a. This is a weird one. Jeff rented a dumpster for a project he was doing at the house. He rented the dumpster. The guy he got the dumpster from was subleasing it, and he never paid the guy who owns the dumpster. The guy who owns the dumpster sent a creditor after Jeff. Now, Jeff has since gotten it taken care of, but we had a curious question. Would this fall under that if he could prove he paid for that dumpster once? Could that preclude the owner of that dumpster coming back to him?
That's a pretty nuanced question.
I know.
Wow.
But it is the same. I mean, if the collector said, hey, you didn't pay for this dumpster,
Well, just as a general, think of this. Someone is building your garage attached to your house, and they have to get a dumpster in order to tear down the old one. So the dumpster is their part of the entire contract for the work done. I don't know what difference it would be if it was just a dumpster.
Neither do I, but go ahead.
Yeah, let me talk in generalities. A sub can go directly after the homeowner for a mechanics lien, bypassing the general contractor, if the homeowner knew about the sub's work, or if there was a contract that tied them all together. Where the sub cannot go after the homeowner is where the homeowner was unaware of the sub's work and there's no written contract.
Okay.
So this now some mechanics liens can also be suppliers, vendors liens.
Yeah, and that would be this case. This would be like a supplier.
Yeah.
They
So this
supplied
is
the dumpster. They were never paid for that dumpster, but the homeowner paid the guy.
Mhm. Okay. Well, so it doesn't sound like the dumpster vendor can go after the homeowner, but they wouldn't because they got paid. But it's basically a subsidiary dumpster vendor who might have had a claim, and so potentially they could have had a mechanics lien claim against the house. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I'm thinking that Jeff is protected, really, the bottom line. Brad O'Brien is a real estate attorney and handles things like this, of course. But again, it's really a weird one. But Jeff, if I were you did get it taken care of, and thank you for warning us. But I want to tell people, and Brad, by the way, if you need to get a hold of him, it's olslaw.com, 720-370-7388. Now, one thing I do want to say, if ever you hire people to do work at your house, you hire a general, make sure everything is in writing with the general, and then don't sign separate contracts unless you're going to pay people directly. Sign with the general.
You might even want to ask for lien waivers, too.
Right. And you sign with the general, and then you have proof of payment to the general. Again, in general terms, I would never pay in advance, up front, not big money. You pay as you go. And then if you ever have a question on materials or subs, if ever you hear any rumblings, investigate it immediately. I mean, that's why I always say when you deal with people on big projects, there's nothing wrong with asking for references, not only previous customers, but suppliers as references. So let's talk to Claire now, who has an issue with a contractor. Claire, go ahead. What's going on?
Hi, Tom.
Hi,
Thank you
what's
for
happening?
taking my call. I hired a contractor, Gates Enterprises, for a variety of hail damage repairs. One of them was roof replacement, gutter replacement, some deck railing painting.
Okay.
And the roof went great, I believe, but I paid the majority of the insurance. They agreed to do this work for the
Now, how
insurance
did you enter into it? How did you find Gates, by the way?
My neighbor, Gates did my neighbor's roof, and they were in and out in 2 days. My neighbor was very happy with their work. And then I looked them up on the Better Business Bureau, and they had an A+ rating.
Yeah, which means nothing. We have people in prison with A+ ratings. I don't know how I can get this across.
That to be true.
The Better Business Bureau is a dinosaur. It's like it's amazing to me they're still around. They're a useless organization. I would like to ask anyone, anywhere, if the Better Business Bureau ever put someone out of business or sued somebody or got money back for somebody directly. I'd like to know that. The answer is no. They're just a dinosaur. What bothers me is these A+ ratings. Mark, am I lying or dying on? We sent the guy to prison. We were instrumental in it. He's in prison for embezzlement and screwing clients, and didn't he have an A+ rating?
Yeah, for about a year after he was in the pen for 12. He's in there for 12, and for the first year.
The only reason they took him off the A+ rating is because we started making fun of him. We started making fun of the Better Business Bureau.
Yep, people can look up Don Eiley.
Don Eiley. Anyway, Is he still on the better? I wonder, he might still be up there.
No, they finally, I don't know what they finally did, but they did
Anyway,
something that
so
made
Claire,
sense.
here's what I want to ask. How much did you pay up front?
I didn't pay anything up front
Good.
because they agreed to do this for insurance, and they waived my deductible, which was $1,000. When they completed the roof...
Which is, by the way, fraudulent on your part for the insurance. But go ahead. Keep going.
Oh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you read your policy and they wanted to reduce their cost by $1,000, it goes to the insurance company first. But keep going. That's neither here nor there. They talked you into doing that. Go ahead.
They replaced my roof, and I paid them the big check of the insurance money. But the job was $35,000. I paid them $26,000. So
after the roof
was done, and at that time they took down my gutters. I was without gutters for a month, and without gutters, we had a couple of snowstorms, and the drops were going straight down, and I was fearful of water in my basement. I kept calling them, but I got no one to respond to me for 2 weeks. At that point, I'd felt I'd been scammed. I was worried. But in December, they did call me, and they did put in gutters early December. But they don't work. So now I have paid them all but $4,700. And my question to you is, am I obligated to give him this money when my gutters don't work? I mean, the gutter drips about a foot on the right side of the gutter.
Well, here's what you're obligated to do, in my opinion. It hasn't been decided in court, but most courts would rule you give them a chance to mitigate and fix. If they don't, you can go out and assess how much it'll cost to fix that problem and apply that money for that. But then this guy can come and lean it, and you're going to have to defend yourself. So here's what I want to know. How the bottom line is the gutters leak. Is that right? Or do they leak in one spot? Let's get right to it.
One gutter leaks in one spot, and I have had him out here twice.
All right.
To do
Any
repair.
good? You need someone else then to look at it and tell you what's wrong with it. And then if he won't make the appropriate repair, you tell him you're having it done.
The owner, Andrew Gates, called me up 2 days ago and was very aggressive with me. First, he accused me of not accepting his call and sending it to voicemail.
Well, if only one, it might be a little overreaction if only one gutter is leaking.
Well, I guess there's other work. So
okay, see, now you're a moving target. So tell me exactly what is not done on your house. We have a gutter leaking. What else?
Okay, they have not removed vent cap furnace and replaced vent caps. I don't even know what those are. But
Was that part of your contract?
Yes, they have painted my deck rail, but they just painted over what was there. The work is terrible, really terrible.
Okay, hold on. We'll come right back to you. I got some ideas. 303-713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
It's a wintry drive throughout the Denver metro and beyond for the 10 o'clock hour. Southwest Denver seems to be affected the most by the snow.
March, okay.
Be slow through in the golden areas. I-25 north and southbound showing sub-highway speeds from 470 to about downtown. I-25 southbound, we have a crash approaching I-225 in the right lane, and I-70 east and westbound remains closed from the Denver area to Silverthorne. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, snow showers throughout the rest of the day, high 35 degrees, starting to taper off tonight with a low of 27, tomorrow high 41. The current temperature in Denver is 32 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Powered through your spring at Lowe's with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Buy one select string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56V battery free. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Joe Lazar is a criminal defense attorney, and he's been advertising with me for years. He does things in a very straightforward fashion that's easy on the client. If you're charged with anything, including a DUI or anything, even if you want to plead guilty or whatever, don't ever try to go through it alone. He'll give you free initial consultations always, and then flat rate pricing. Lazzara, Joe Lazzara, Lazzara, LazzaraLegal.com. Or you can find him at referralist.com, 303-429-6200. Hey, K&H Home Solutions does everything from the roofing to the siding, windows, doors, and more. K&H has what you're looking for, and now bathroom remodels. Whether you want to do the shower area or the complete bathroom, they do it all, and they're one of the oldest home improvement companies in all of Colorado. K&H Home Solutions, 303-421-7100. That's 303-421-7100, khwindows.com.
I stopped.
Thank you.
So,
yes.
Never mind. I wanted to talk to Mark, but it's hard to talk to him right now.
Because of his attitude or too many people listening? Certainly not the technology. I got you guys piped in. Marky Mark, are you there?
Yeah, hold on. I'm uploading a picture.
Yeah. I don't even want to know.
My connection is, I hope I don't drop. I'm shocked we haven't lost power, to be honest.
Yeah. There should be a lot more of that, especially if it's going to keep going, man. The trees here at the station are fixing to go. Try it again.
Tom?
Yeah.
Did you ask for somebody for Claire?
No, I think it was just a hang on, I'll get to it deal.
No. I'm going to talk to her about what to do.
Okay. Just making sure. By the way, Shannon failed
At
the experiment.
being able to forward the phones? Yeah, it wouldn't accept *72. Probably because of the VoIP. Hockey docky, here you go.
First talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. All right. Claire, here's the deal, okay? Bottom line. What you're saying is you're not pleased with the work. It really comes down to that. You're simply not pleased with the work. And what you would like to do is you would like to withhold payment, okay? You can. But I'm going to tell you something. It has to be justified. You already got that $1,000 off from your thing, and you owe $4,000. So technically, you would owe another $5,000. But I don't even want to get into the numbers. You better have somebody justify everything that needs to be corrected and how much it's going to cost, okay? Because you talked about, at first, just one gutter leaking. Now you're telling me there's a bunch of stuff you don't like. So here's what's going to happen. When did they finish the job? When did they actually finish the last part of the job?
The first week of March.
Okay. They have a certain amount of time, I think it's 4 months from the time they leave the job, to put a lien on your house. Okay?
Well, he's, according to his phone call 2 days ago, he is putting a lien on my house.
Well, first
yesterday.
he has to do an intent to lien. He has to give you a warning. And he has every right to put a lien on your house. I'm not speaking to the quality of work right now. That Gates Enterprises has every right to put a lien on your house. You have every right to dispute it, but it's going to be a mess, okay?
I would guess that contract you signed with Gates says that every penny you get from the insurance company goes to them.
Correct. And I'm happy to give it to him. I have no problem paying them.
Well, you just said you didn't want to because the work sucks.
No, I want to withhold the money until the gutter drains correctly. And I actually have.
But what about the other problems you brought? No. What about the other problems you brought up?
Well, I also have unfinished work.
Okay, what about that? So there's more than the gutter.
I guess I need to know from you, number one, can he record our phone conversation? Because he did.
Yes, he can.
Yes.
Okay. And how would I know if my roof is completed? I have the inspection notice here, and I got a mid-roof sign-off, but I don't know if I have.
I don't blame you for wanting to know this, Claire. You should make sure it passes inspection, yes. And if you have any doubts, you can hire an independent roof inspector. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you've lost your trust to this guy, you can have all of the work inspected, and then you can demand that it be fixed. However, I'm going to tell you something. If there's a difference of opinion, one guy says, hey, this is fine, and you say it's not, that they get to lien. That doesn't mean it's gonna go anywhere, but they can lien, and then you have to fight to show that you had every right to withhold that payment. Now, if you want, we can call them for you and say, look, why don't you just fix the stuff, and she'd be happy to pay you. If you want us to do that, tell Kachina, and we'll do that. I'm Tom Martino. We'll be back with GrossmanWellness.com coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. We got more to talk about.
Okay, Claire, do you want to give me the number of the gentleman you were working with so I can get him on the show?
Really clean and staying clean. No. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
I want to talk to you off the air. Off the feed. I'm going to pull out the feed.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, pull.
Anyway, that's just screwed up.
Oh my God! How do you frickin' miss that?
What's that?
Oh, I'm just watching basketball.
Probably women's basketball.
Basketball's awesome. Hi, Claire. Okay, we're going to go ahead and escalate this to one of our deputies. His name is Scott. He's going to call you soon. We call him Deputy Dollar, and he's going to do more of a deep dive into this case. I'm going to go ahead and send him your information. Just want to confirm your number. It's 303-204-4851. Perfect. Okay, Claire, I'm going to give him your information right now. I did leave a message for Andrew. It went straight to voicemail. So if he calls back, then I will certainly get you back on the phone, okay?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Nope.
Take us down for one more
go ahead
second.
and let you off. So, Scott.
Back online, are we?
And I feel different. And Tom, I feel different about you than you do about the YouTubers. I cannot believe that you feel that way about them. They tune in every day.
I mean, who wouldn't have liked to have heard that, Tom? I mean,
Oh, great. So now you're throwing me under the bus. Wait,
That's it. I mean, I'm not going to tell them what you said,
tell
but
my
to
YouTube morons
to
that
throw
we
them
weren't
all in the
talking
same bucket.
We weren't talking about them, you jerks.
Well, just because there's a lot of bodily function sounds, I think the YouTubers could have handled that.
Oh, my God.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe he would actually say that. And then he picked out Savvy, and then he even was talking about Bri W. and Todd and Dak and Sherry. I couldn't believe it. By name.
It sounded like you were putting your foot in a tub
Please do not listen to
pudding.
them.
All I heard was a hand in a tub of pudding. That's all I heard.
You need advice so you don't have to lose. Well, come running just can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show this hour, brought to you by waterpros.net for the best water system that with the new nanoplastics and everything found. It's amazing. And speaking of health and water, by the way, 303-862-5554, the best systems at the lowest prices. I have Dr. Terry Grossman with me from Grossman Wellness. I am a patient there, and I've been talking about them because they do a wellness care. You know, and that's where you pay like a flat fee a month, and it depends on what you want, you know, what programs you're part of. But it's a few $100. It's not a lot of money. It includes so much stuff, supplements and all that, and
you lost Mark.
Some of the prescription drugs, and it's really good stuff. And then blood work every 3 months. All of that. You're not nickeled and dimed, and then you get the consultation. So before we get into that, I wanted to ask you something. By the way, I welcome your calls on anything. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, on health or anything. Give us an update on weather if you want. But Dr. Grossman, water. Do you think, I've read different things that there's been too much emphasis put on hydration. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't hydrate, but there's too much put on it. You don't really need IVs. You don't really need to hydrate like that. And there's a controversy as to exactly how much water you need. Where do you stand on water? We'll get to the purity of the water after this, but water in general, hydration.
Well, I think a lot of people are chronically dehydrated. We
A
get
lot of
busy,
people, yeah.
We forget to drink water. And at one time they said, well, we all need to drink 1 ounce per pound of body weight. So other people said a half an ounce. So there's been a big debate about that. Bottom line is, lately what a lot of authorities are saying is it's very simple. Just look at your urine. And if your urine is a light yellow color, then you're getting enough hydration. And if your urine gets dark, well, you need more water.
It's that easy.
It's just as simple
What
as
about
that.
pureness of water? What do you think about that?
Well, that's one of the most amazing advances of the last century is the availability of clean water. I mean, all of these waterborne illnesses that made so many people sick and even killed people in the past is no longer a problem. So it's mostly a matter of, number one, making sure that you have good filtration systems. Generally, city waters are treated with different chemicals to make sure that they're safe and we're not going to catch anything. But I think that for most people, tap water is just fine.
Okay. What about the nanoplastics? Have you heard about those?
I have heard about that, and obviously that's a big concern, and I don't know how we're going to deal with that. Because
Now, okay. So hydration, water, purity. How do you feel about organic food? I'm just curious about all this stuff about health because I don't necessarily go out and shop organic. Okay, but just how far do you go? Like, what about organic? Do you buy organic food?
I do as much as possible. Number one, the price of organic food has gone down over the years. It used to be at a great premium, but now in a lot of cases you can buy organic produce and other types of products for about the same as conventionally raised, and they have the advantage of not having the pesticides and chemicals in them. And I don't think that, I think that some of the epidemics of health, like the increase in breast cancer in women, prostate cancer in men, is largely due to exposure to pesticides and plastics. So we can really avoid a lot of that by eating organic. So I think if people can afford it and it's easy to find, I would say eat organic whenever you can.
Mark, do you eat organic? Go out of your way to find organic stuff?
We lost him.
Oh, he's not. You lost him? Oh.
Yep.
Could be the weather because he's on remote. But in any case, I'm not against organic. I often wonder, how much more does it do for you?
There are studies, Tom, in the medical literature showing that there's a reduced incidence of certain diseases for people who eat more organic. And then, of course, like everything in medicine, there's studies that
you
refute
find
that.
studies for everything. That's the thing. Like for example, and I hate to open up this can of worms, but, vegetarian versus non-vegetarian. Some of the sickest people I know were vegetarian, right? And they're just not eating properly. And yet then there's other people, they say red meat will kill you. Now, I'm not an absolutist on anything. I think the quality of what you eat has a lot to do with it. I mean, there's bad red meat, and then there would be better red meat. I don't know. And maybe red meats should be avoided at all costs. I have no idea. But I do know that there's something to be said about balance, and there's something to be said about not being extreme. But how do you feel about this? I mean, then there's the raw diet, for example. Totally raw, everything raw, no meat, zero. I mean, I think any monolithic diet, or let's say religious diet of any, I don't mean that in a faith way, but a religious diet is an improvement over the regular American diet, and that's why people see improvements, not necessarily because of that. Well, I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
I do, and one of the things that I heard was red meat is not going to kill you. Now, blue-green meat, that might kill you. So obviously, but seriously, moderation and everything, just like you're saying. I think that, people who are going to eat red meat 3 times a day, I think there may be health risks with that.
No, I understand that, yeah.
But, eating red meat once in a while, eating a healthful diet, moderation in all things. I think the Mediterranean diet is great emphasis on fresh fruits and vegetables,
fish,
nuts, olive oil, red wine. It's a moderate diet. It's middle of the road, and many people do very well with that.
But here's what I like, and I know you like it. No matter what anyone eats, is this true or false? I think it's true. No matter what anyone eats, I know people that eat like crap. I know people that eat good, and their freaking blood work might be, the guy that eats like crap shows no problems. Why is that? Why can some people get away with it?
Well, it's all has to do with our genes. And
so there are people that maybe, I don't know if they're patients of yours or not, but there are people that eat like crap and their blood work reads like perfection.
And they live to be 100. I mean, it's crazy. I do have patients, and every doctor has patients
because
like this.
Genes have a lot to do with it.
Absolutely. Genetic tendencies, they eat a high-fat diet, they eat a lot of sugar, they eat a lot of red meat, they don't exercise, and yet they live, ripe old ages in perfect health. And other people, they're doing everything they can, and they come down with serious diseases when they're much younger.
So what percentage would you say are the genes were dealt? Half, 90, 80, 70?
It's an interesting question that you ask.
Yeah.
And I would say 15 or 20 years ago, it was the rule of 80-20. It was 80% our genes and 20% our lifestyle choices. Now, over the years, now that the Human Genome Project has been completed, we've completely flipped that around.
So what do we say?
20% genes and 80% lifestyle choices.
Really? So we're dealt about 20% of our health.
That's right. Your genetic code will predispose you, but you can it's the overwhelming factor is really the lifestyle choice you make.
What you put into your body or what you take out of your body.
Absolutely.
Okay, so on that vein then, if you do blood work, I had a doctor tell me one time, maybe you know me, I've known him for years and years, he's not here anymore, not around here. Dr. Rosedale, Ron Rosedale, he's just a guru on the low carb and the moderate protein, high fat. But anyway, bottom line is, he said, the truth of the matter, Tom, is I can have patients and keep them healthy probably with very little physical touch and examination. Sometimes you need that for acute conditions, but most everything can be seen in the blood. Do you agree that blood work is that important?
Well, blood work tells a lot, but we have other things we want to look at as well. And I think that doing a physical exam is very, very important.
Now, yeah, and he wasn't saying it's not, but he's saying that really most of the time, the blood work tells most of your health situation.
Yeah, I think that's true. You can learn a lot from the blood. Not everything,
okay,
but a
so
lot.
Let's talk about this. What can you not tell from the blood?
Well, what's your muscle mass?
Oh, okay.
What's your fat mass?
All right.
So how well hydrated you are.
That's an exam. You have to measure fat and measure.
What's your lung function?
Okay.
What's your cardiac? How long does it take for you to run a mile? All of these things are questions that we want to know in order to be perfectly healthy. And that's our goal. The goal is good is not good enough. We really want optimal. And to be in optimal health, we need to know what you can do in these other parameters other than blood work.
Can you really extend your life?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you really believe that?
I really believe that the lifestyle choices we make, in other words, what we decided to have for breakfast this morning,
yes,
has a lot to say about what kind of day we're going to have and how healthy we're going to be tomorrow. And the lifestyle choices we make for lunch and for supper, and how we deal with stress,
and
how well we
exercise.
sleep and exercise. And all of these things are going to have a lot to say with how healthy we're going to be going forward.
So, because there are some people that say, you know what, you know, you're gonna live or you're gonna die based on what it is, based on your life, based on your family.
80-20. And it's only 20% of your genes.
I see that. That's what you're saying. And that was from a genome study?
That is from the Human Genome Project.
Yes.
So they were able to tell us what every single
How
gene
long
is.
has that been going on, that project?
It was first started, I think the first genome was done by this guy, Craig Ventnor, and it cost over $1 billion to complete his genome, to find out all of his genes. He was the first one, but nowadays the prices have fallen below $1,000.
Now, someone just texted me. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk about it. By the way, any calls you want, I know it's a snowy day. It's a weird day. If you want to get through, it's 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. You can also call 303-MARTINO. That's 303-627-8466.
Hey, let me ask a question on blood work real
and
quick.
the good thing about that number, by the way, is that you can call it 24/7. Mark, I'm going to have your question first up. I got to take this break. Okay, right after this.
Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk.
How come
Hey, you know what? I love good things, and I love to tell you about good things, like the art of granite. Why do I love the art of granite? You know, how many people do you know you can call and get a price on the phone? Not many. Oh, they got to come and visit and sell you, or you got to visit them. The Art of Granite says we got deals, and all you have to do is call. Now, not just granite. Any countertop, man-made, natural stone, they tear out and haul away the old one. They put in the new one, wholesale on all materials, and they do the bathroom vanity free when you do the kitchen, or a free kitchen sink, and you get your price right now. Yeah, even on this snowy day. TheArtOfGranite.com. Get your price, 303-386-5919. Sheridan Auto Tech, they do pre-buy inspections on used cars. The reason I'm such a bugaboo about that is 99% of all the calls we get on used car problems, no one got it screened. You can do that at Sheridan Auto Tech. You can also get your car maintained and repaired there, plus electrical work. People you can trust on Colfax west of Wadsworth, well worth the drive. SheridanAutotech.com. And let me give you their number real quick. You can call and talk to them, 303-455-7242. All right, I'm a client of Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. What does that mean? Well, they're a sponsor here, and I'm a client. That's because I believe in what they do. They get you ready for retirement. They help you with investments, with income, with legacy, meaning how are you going to leave your estate? They hook you up with the right people. Are you wisely using equity in your home or paying it off? And how do you keep that money coming in retirement? They have a 3-bucket solution, one for safety, one for income. And I'll tell you what, the real deal here is when you go to them, they want that growth, that income, and that safety, those 3 buckets, to keep it going. And what I like is they're not a one-trick pony. They have several solutions for you. Give them a call, 970-663-3211, rpcenter.com.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
We found Mark.
What's that?
We found Mark.
I pulled a Martino.
Oh, you did? What, did you get knocked off?
I forgot. I moved my Comrex and didn't plug the power in, so the battery died after an hour.
Yeah. You know what? I've had that happen.
Did your shock, like mine started making the weirdest noises?
No, I heard that, but no, mine didn't. But mine just went dead.
Wait, could you hear it over the air?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys something that I cannot believe happened when it was doing it. My headphones were shocking my fucking ears. I had to take my headphones off because I thought I was getting a jolt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We heard the pop, pop, pop.
It was in my ears, and it wasn't just a sound. It was like sparks going off in my ears. And I looked over at the Comrex, and it just died. And I was like, holy shit, my Comrex just blew up. And I'm going, how old is it, and what's the warranty? And then I started thinking, wait a minute, Tom.
Oh, our health club is closed today.
What? Tom, Mark was talking.
Yeah, exactly,
I heard
Tom.
him. I heard every word he said.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. But Mark, I don't understand the connection though of a battery going dead and a shock.
And getting arced. That's amazing that it would.
It freaking arced the shit out of me.
That's weird.
I mean, not having clean ear canals is, I'm sure, part of that.
Blow me. Hey, Doc, is there anything you can give Tom so he remembers shit longer?
A notepad.
Yeah, he's on. You're on.
Can you give him one of those, what's that thing Elon Musk is making now where you implant it in his brain
Neuralink.
And I can shock him when he's starting to fall asleep?
I just want the robot for $25,000. Yep.
We are going to have to figure out something in the next year, Shannon, when he starts nodding off, how to wake him up.
Right.
Hey, you know what? I'm recording all of this for my lawsuit.
Well, the good news is you're going to accidentally erase it because
I'm officially a person at risk, by the way.
I can't believe he still thinks he's on the air at home.
I was telling somebody the other day about how occasionally you get these callers that, well, Tom, I'm 71 and I don't, and you're like, oh my God, am I going to sound like that in a year?
Yeah, I do.
Help me.
And then Mark's saying he does.
So what Tom doesn't realize is the doctor sitting next to him is actually his psychiatrist. And he's
what you
just
don't
going
realize
along.
is this
He's
young spry
pretending
man,
he's on this show.
This fit, young, tall man next to me is older than me. That's how his medicine works. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I got a question here. Oh, Mark, your question first.
Yeah, so
and then
I'm
we'll
being
take your
very
calls, of course.
serious.
Go ahead.
Dr. Grossman, I'm being very serious. So once a year, before I go in for my blood work and physical, this year I did it about 2 weeks ago before we went on vacation. So at the beginning of the year in January, right around January 4th, up until basically the end of February, I did 0 carbs. I mean, I had less than 1 or 2 carbs per day, if even that much, and that would be a little cream in my coffee. On top of that, I gave up alcohol for that period of time. So no carbs, no alcohol. And then the other thing I did was I went and worked out almost every day. Instead of doing yoga 3 or 4 times a day, I was doing it 14, 15 days in a row. So I go, I get my blood work, everything comes back great. My A1C's great, everything's great. But I guess what I'm asking is if the next 10 months I don't live that same lifestyle and I only do that 2 months out of the year, I mean, what does that say?
You're not getting an accurate picture.
Well, I didn't. I'm sorry, Dr. Grossman. Or Dr. Martino, I was asking Dr. Grossman, is that true, though? If someone goes out and corrects their body for 2 months out of the year, I mean, long-term ramifications. I mean, help me. Talk to me, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why did you do such an ultra-low-carb diet for a couple months? Were you trying to lose weight or control
Yeah, I
your
did.
blood sugar?
I shedded 25 pounds in about 6 weeks.
Okay. Well, I think that, the idea of yo-yo dieting where you gain weight, then you do something radical like no carbs for a couple months and you lose the weight, then you go back to a diet that enables you to gain weight again, and then you yo-yo like that up and down with your weight. There's a lot of health risks associated with that, and it becomes increasingly difficult to keep your weight down. So I think moderation, finding a diet that works for you so that you can stay at...
But his question is, if he does this and he shows good blood work every year, what I said be accurate? You're not getting an accurate assessment of health if you just do that.
Yeah, let's just take A1C. My understanding with an A1C is it's an average of roughly 3 months of the body's sugar levels at any given time. So if for the 2 months leading up to an A1C test you're doing that, I mean, are you getting a false reading for the rest of the year?
You're not getting a false reading, but you're not getting the rest of the year's reading. That's why he does it every 3 months. Explain your theory on every 3 months. I mean, nothing can trend. You catch it.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is, the two pillars of staying healthy are, number one, preventing disease, and number two, early detection.
Right.
So at least you can find it early. So by doing blood work every few months, we're not going to get any surprises. We have a test now. It's called the Galleri or Grail test, and this is
I got a text about it. We'll talk about that coming up. But Mark, here I want to just say something. If you were low or high on D and you did one test once a year, you wouldn't know that. I have sometimes, now I'm pretty dialed in, but Dr. Grossman will say, Tom, you know what? I don't know why this DHEA, cut it back a little. And if I went a whole year high DHE or ultra high iron or low this or high this, it could have different effects than if I correct it in 3 months, right?
I think the point, I think the question I really have, though, is this, guys. If you correct the body in that 2 month period, I don't care if you work out 10 times a day and do everything else, it's perfect, eat perfectly, and a doctor can define perfectly. But if you correct everything in a 2 month period and then you're laxed, and I'm not saying you go back to gorging or doing 1,000 grams of whatever per day. What I'm saying is, then I don't want to make it sound like it's a yo-yo diet. I know how to drop weight pretty quick. But what I'm saying is, if you bring yourself back to good fitness every single year and your blood work does come back good, I guess I don't understand the harm in it.
Well, because, Mark, your body is, let's just say, if that's the way you live, but if you are doing it for 2 months out of the year and the other, let's say 10 months, you're eating like crap, then you would,
that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I go to the no carb because I know how to drop weight really quick.
But I don't understand your question. But all I'm saying is this: you don't get an accurate assessment of your health if you're gauging it on 2 months of activity and one blood test. I mean, that's all I can say.
That's what I'm asking the doctor, though. But when I do go out, and let's say I go into him after those 2 months, and Dr. Grossman does whatever he does over there and pulls all the blood work, I mean, he's going to say I'm healthy. I mean, is that not correct?
Yeah, no, it is at that time, but I'd like to see what it is, 4 months later, and 8 months later, and then 12 months later.
Okay, and let's go down the road with this. Let's say 4 months later, everything's a little higher, cholesterol's a little higher, A1C's higher, but they're still in the green, they're still there. And then right before the blood test after that, I do it again. I mean, I guess I just don't understand what's wrong with that. I understand
there's nothing wrong with it. But if you truly want to know a picture of health, then you need a picture of how you live, not how you live in 2 months. If you're asking, would 2 months correct the previous 10 months of bad? Dr. Gross.
Here's a better way. There's a lot of snowbirds out there that, when they're out in Florida for the winter here, they're running, they're exercising, they're doing everything. When they're back in Colorado, maybe they're not on that same fitness model. So both, depending on where they're living and at what time of year, they have different habits. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because every year is the same, and they are healthy, I guess is what I'm saying. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, I see what you're saying. It all comes down to I guess it comes down to you don't erase. You can erase actually sins of the past, but you can't do it. You can't trick nature. You can't trick it by being healthy part of the year.
Right, and it's not white and black like this.
Right.
So I think it's gray. It's a mixture, and I think that by doing a detoxification or a low-carb diet for a couple months to treat some issues, that's fine and good.
Yeah.
But then the other 10 months, be moderate as well and be healthy.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's
Fair
okay
enough.
to
don't go on a binge.
Health is more of an average than it is a snapshot. It really is.
What are your thoughts on sugar, Doc? I mean, Tom and I have discussed carbs in general for 20 years. What are your thoughts on it? Are all carbs evil?
No, all carbs are not evil, but there are good carbs and there are bad carbs. And
But even the good carbs should be limited.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, but eating good carbs, unrefined grains, things along those lines, vegetables are great, good carbs. Fruits in moderation are good carbs.
Yeah, yes.
Whereas sugary, desserts and sugary sweets and things like that, they raise your blood sugar right away. And when you have a high blood sugar, bad things happen metabolically. For instance, cancer cells can only eat one food. That's sugar. So every time you load your bloodstream with sugar, we all have cancer cells floating in our body all the time. You enable those cells to have a little bit of extra fuel, which is not good. Sugar also raises your insulin, which raises your blood pressure, which leads to heart disease. So I think sugar, I've written 3 books so far, and in the first book, I started to refer to sugar as the white Satan because I really think that there are health risks associated with it. For most of us, the average American eats in the neighborhood of 140 pounds of sugar a year.
And we're not just talking about white sugar, pasta, potatoes, anything that's a simple carb that is sugar is sugar. And then, but there has been later research, there was, and I was talking to Mark about this, research that all carbs, just eliminate them. You don't need them. And that's true. But what Doc was saying about vegetables and things like that have other advantages that overweigh the small carb load.
Well, yeah, because they're packed with different
and
vitamins
then also,
and nutrients.
How they release the sugar has a lot to do with it, too.
Yeah, that's what they call the glycemic index.
Yeah. We got more coming up. I got to take this. Now, Brenda, please hang on. Tell Brenda we'll get right to her right after this.
Okay.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
It's starting to calm down throughout the Denver metro after this morning's wintry weather. Most of the slowdowns on the roads are on the south end of town. C470 east and westbound, you're going to see sub-highway speeds from around Highlands Ranch to the Golden area. I-25 north and southbound showing mostly highway speeds. You're going to see some minor crashes. I-25 northbound at Bellevue and southbound I-25 approaching I-225. Out west into the high country, I-70 east and westbound remain closed for safety concerns between Silverthorne and the Denver area. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Snow continues throughout the day. High 35, overnight low of 27. The current temperature in Denver is 32 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 630 KHOW.
At Lowe's, pros save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 230 or more select James Hardie fiber cement siding panels. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Joe Lazara is a criminal defense attorney. And again, he works this way. Free initial consultations. And then he'll give you a flat rate price on whatever it is. So many people, they say, I'm just going to plead guilty. I'm going to make a deal. You need an attorney no matter what, even with a DUI. It's very important. And Joe Lazara will gladly talk to you about anything and then give you a flat rate price if you decide to hire him. There's no obligation. Lazara, Lazzara, LazzaraLegal.com, 303-429-6200. Now, if you're looking for an investment and you don't want losses and you simply want to park money, make a gain that's guaranteed, and never lose the gain, never lose the principal, there are some products available that can also create income for you. The more you put in, the more you get out. And if you don't take it all out in income, it goes to your family. They're called fixed indexed annuities offered by MyMoneyMyWay.com. The people I know and trust, give them a call. They have 57 different products to choose from. One may be right for you. 303-779-6600. The Art of Granite's busy doing countertops, and you can have one for the spring right now. Give them a call and get an idea of a price. All you have to do is ask them and give them some square footage, maybe a pick or two. that you text to him, and he'll give you a price on the countertop, whether it's man-made or natural stone. He's a natural stone importer. He has a yard out in Golden, but you can call first and get a price. Theartofgranite.com. Tear out and haul away is always free, and you get a free vanity when you have the kitchen done or a free kitchen sink. Get your price right now, 303-386-5919. That's 303-386-5919.
Yep.
So, I'm telling you, you can't turn.
Oh, man, cone of silence.
What do you do? Turn it
No,
off?
I was
again?
just talking about something to the doc about my erection dysfunction. No, I'm just kidding. I was talking to him about a person I was trying to help.
The left one's bigger than the right one, Doc. Is that normal? I told you how to deal with your ED, man.
It's unfair to do something like this. Well, the far left, and especially right now in this lawsuit,
That's Bruce Jenner talking. God damn it.
What do you mean, Bruce Jenner?
He's on Fox right now talking about how chicks was...
I don't know who Bruce Jenner is.
He was on the box of Wheaties that you would have... Oh, although you're pretty young, all things considered.
I think you're talking about Caitlyn Jenner.
That's not who's on my Wheaties. Did you ever see... who's the guy that from the British Office TV show that went nuts at the Golden Globes? The funny British comedian guy. He does a bit about, dead naming.
Benny Hill?
Let's see. British version of the Office TV show. Ricky Gervais.
Oh, yeah,
He does
Gervais.
a great thing about calling Bruce Jenner, Bruce Jenner. It's like, now, if I was talking about Caitlyn, but like 20 years ago, I'd be talking about Bruce. So I'm just going to talk about Bruce now, okay? I'm not talking about Caitlyn. That's great.
I was going to call up those guys to come shovel my driveway, but I know they couldn't do it, so.
I was thinking that if we just stop at a traffic light downtown and swap out those window squeegees with shovels in the hands of the Venezuelans, we'd have this whole thing cleared up in no time.
That would be nice. Hey, how about that shit in Haiti,
phone
man?
calls yesterday.
We got
kids
Marines
who
headed over there.
Could shovel my driveway, but it wouldn't matter because our frickin' roads, our HOA never plows.
Well, that's how we are. We did have, so we don't have like normal plows out here.
Right.
We've got this thing that's got to be 200 feet long, and in the very middle of it, there's a plow that comes down,
Road
and that's
grader.
what does our roads.
Road grader.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen. So in our stupid HOA, they're like, we have 48 hours technically to do it, but it's 24 hours for us to clean our sidewalks.
Oh, because you're in Denver?
No.
They're in Aurora.
Aurora's got that same rule,
We're
though?
in Arapahoe County, and that's an Arapahoe
She
County
was just
thing.
calling somebody to come plow her. Hang on.
khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I want to take that call about a contractor, and then we'll take some other calls because there's somebody asked about that special cancer screening, and they want to know how good is it, how far out does it go, all of that. I'm not sure. Did Suze take that cancer screening? I thought she was doing that one time. Maybe not, but
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Hey, Brenda, what's going on with the contractor?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
The biggest problem right now is they are not returning my phone calls. They
No, tell me what happened, Brenda.
Put in. We hired Walter Lovely as a consultant in 2021.
And who's
to start
Walter?
building-
Walter, is his name Walter Lovely?
Yes.
Okay.
He's just a consultant who hired all these contractors to start building.
And how did the
little
consultant
house we
charge
have.
you?
He just charged us $25,000.
And what were you having done?
And every time, the whole house built, the whole little ADU built.
So was he your general contractor or what?
I really don't know.
No,
he
listen, I can tell you what he does because I already looked him up as we're talking about him. You hire him to kind of go over the entire project, Tom. So you're hiring him to manage the project. He's like a general contractor, I guess would be one way to put it.
But when he brought the contractors in to do the work, Brenda, for this ADU, are you putting up an extra dwelling unit on your property?
Yes, it's up now.
Okay. Is it a tiny house? What is it?
It's 750 square feet.
Are you going to rent it out?
Yes, to my daughter.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of the city is
26-year-old
encouraging
daughter.
people to do this, to help the homeless, not to give it away, but to help the housing crisis, I should say, for affordable housing. But Brenda, when he brought contractors in, did you sign the contract with the contractors or did he sign it?
I signed it.
Okay. So what is the problem now?
Mr. Lovely's people continuously did not pass inspection, so the regional building is on my side totally for this. So my husband died October 23rd of 21. So then I hired One Source, said that they could finish everything.
So this was back in 2020 that you hired Walter.
I think the beginning of 2021, we hired him.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, my husband died. And then so the beginning of the next year, I hired One Source.
Are you saying somehow you were screwed by Lovely and his gang?
Lovely and his gang and One Source and their people.
Wait.
Yes.
So both the first
Yes.
company you hired One Source to fix what Lovely's people did, right?
Right.
Why were you screwed by both? Okay, first of all, let's go through Lovely. You were not screwed by Lovely because you signed contractors. Which contractor screwed up? The ones that Lovely gave you. Which ones screwed up? Now, I don't mean to know. I mean, what jobs were screwed up?
Okay, the windows, the framing passed inspection, but then it turned out now that we've done the last inspection for the whole building, the windows were wrong. So what they put in
and you
the
just found
paperwork
that out
the
now?
original approved. Yes.
Brenda, listen,
Well, now
Brenda, I really feel for you because you're a widow. You're trying to get this thing done for your daughter. I really don't mean to be a pain, but I need to parse this out. When you hired Walter Lovely, you paid him $25,000.
Yeah.
Then contractors came through.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to finish the job, right?
Yes.
Are you saying they finished the job, but you needed to hire another contractor to fix it?
Yes.
Okay. How much did it cost you? Not the $25,000, but how much did it cost you for those other contractors that Lovely sent to you?
Oh boy, I have.
Give me an idea of what you spent. Just
Maybe
roughly. I mean, you know what you spent on your project? What did you spend with Lovely's people?
Or maybe 100,000.
With Lovely's people.
I don't have it all added up.
No, you don't have to. I just get so hold on. And then you hired and then they did poor work, so you hired who? Who was the second one?
One Source.
And you say they screwed you too. How did they screw you?
Terribly.
How?
Came in and Mr. Lovely's company had put in a brand new furnace and had a brand new air conditioning to put in, but hadn't put it in yet. One Source came in and said there was something wrong with that furnace, and so they said they put in a brand new furnace instead of that brand new furnace, and the city had already approved the first furnace that they said was wrong, but then the city disapproved because they put in a huge furnace.
So you didn't. What you were doing is you were taking people's advice here, there, and everywhere, and basically just throwing money at this thing. What I want to know is this: at this point today, what is the total amount of dollars you spent? You spent about 125 with Lovely and his crew. About what did you spend with OneSource?
OneSource encouraged me or talked me into getting a loan from Good Leap for $35,000, and I have not paid it yet. But they say I owe them $33,000 of the dollars.
So they want 33. So your total project would be 125 plus 33. So about 160, roughly.
Yeah, or maybe more, because when I had to get the windows fixed, that cost $8,000 more.
Okay, so what is your all-in going to be on this?
I'm going to guess
180.
maybe maybe something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad price for that house. So what I need to know is, here's what I need to know.
Tom, OneSource, just so you know, because I looked it up, all they do is HVAC. So was the only problem the original HVAC company? And if so, who was it? Because Walter didn't own the HVAC company. Who was the original HVAC
well, here's what
company?
I want. No, before we ask that, when you hired OneSource, it was only for the HVAC?
Well, no, they said they were going to do the encapsulation around the basement. It's not really a basement. It's the crawl.
So they were going to do a number of things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't need to get into every detail. Here's what I need to know. Truly, what do you need now? What are you calling about now?
I need OneSource to return my calls and tell me how much they're going to reimburse me.
For what?
Because they put the furnace that they put in, they had to take out and put the original, not the original one, but the original same kind back in. So I don't want to pay for that.
Well, okay, so you're saying that you haven't paid them yet, but they want $33,000, and you believe you owe them less.
A whole lot less. Well,
I think it's even worse than that, Tom. She took a loan out with another company. I would guess OneSource is already paid.
No, they're not.
They are already paid.
Oh, I thought you said you had the money.
No, I meant I hadn't paid them personally, but Good Leap, I called them when the mess was happening and told them they hadn't done their job, and Good Leap told me they had only paid them half of them. It turned out
Brenda, can I ask one thing, and then I know Tom's going to want to break. You just said something I don't understand. So you said they put in a furnace, then they had to remove it, and I'm talking about OneSource, and put the same type of furnace back in that was already there, correct?
Yes.
Then what did the original people ever do wrong? If all OneSource did was end up putting in the same kind the original people under Walter did, what the hell did they do wrong, Walter's people?
Nothing with the HVAC.
Okay, Brenda, I don't want to get complicated here. Here's what I want to tell you. You're telling me OneSource got paid. Okay. We got to take a break. OneSource got paid too much money. That's what you're saying, right? Is that the bottom line?
Yes.
All right, hold on. We got more coming up. Hold on.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible.
Roads and freeways starting to clear up throughout the Denver metro after this morning's wintry weather. I-25 north and southbound back to highway speeds through town. The same can't be said just south of town. I-25 southbound after Castle Pines Parkway, a crash in the right lane has stop-and-go traffic back from Oak Hill Lane overpass. Only about a minute or so of delays. Back to town and heading west out into the high country. I-70 east and westbound remain closed from Silverthorne to the Denver area due to safety concerns. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We woke up to snow and more snow is on the way. We're expecting snow showers all throughout Thursday, tapering off tomorrow. The current temperature in Denver is 32 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Come to Audible and discover the best selection of audiobooks without exception. Bestsellers, new releases, plus podcasts and exclusive Audible originals. You'll find everything you love all in one place. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Keel and Park are estate planning attorneys. Keel and Park, an E on the end of common spellings there. And they can help you in a very unique way. First, they go through everything you have to see what kind of a plan you should have. They go through your business, your assets, your liabilities, your money, your investments, and then decide what you need, depending on how many heirs you have. Do you need a trust? Maybe a will, or maybe you keep everything out of probate with payable on death certificates or beneficiary wills, beneficiary deeds or stuff like that. Now, here's what I love about them. When they go through and give you a picture of what you need, they give you a flat rate price for each item. If you want to do all of it, you can do all of it. You can do some of it. That's Keel and Park, people I know and trust, and you can too. Meet with them free of charge. Go over your estate, 970-818-8198. Get an idea of what it will cost. LawKP.com.
Whether or not that's a movie?
Mark?
Mark.
What's up, Jackson?
Did you get the video link to the Dropbox with the 3?
I saw the but what I really need is that text. But yes, I did.
I'm going to get you the text. The videos are really good, though.
Yeah, and I don't think you should make fun of the YouTubers as much as you have been.
Oh my God!
They seem to have embraced it.
I did not make fun of them. I just
they
called
know
morons.
who they are and why they're here.
You said they were the oldest bunch of people you've ever heard of.
I never said that.
That's the people on Facebook.
In fact, I quote, "I'm shocked they even know how to watch YouTube." Unquote.
Oh, never said that.
That's the people on Facebook, not YouTube.
No, yeah, Facebook flunkies is what I call them.
And the Twitch tweakers. They're
I even
fine.
use morons with a capital M for these YouTubers. I love them. Now, my Facebook flunkies, I don't know. Facebook is kind of a dinosaur. Everybody agree? Can I get a amen?
Yeah.
So, Mark.
Amen.
Mark, so you want introductory paragraphs for each page, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Just explaining why we're better.
Right.
Or why I'm better.
Yeah.
But
you should look at the videos. They really do a good job.
Are they new or old?
No, they're brand new. I did them just for us. I
thought, okay, I'll go look at them.
No, I want you to. I really want you to look at them. I seriously went through some bullet points in my head before I did them.
Well.
Okay, so I got to tell you a story at the top of the hour. I got to take it off YouTube, though, because this is going to just blow my fucking mind.
Shannon, what did you think when Tom said most of the people on YouTube are probably still using AOL dial-up?
Well, I guess there's worse things you could say.
So, Doc, what they do to make fun of me is they say they built this studio here in my home, and really it's an assisted living home, and I don't realize it, so they let me come down and
Doc,
sit here.
don't tell them. Don't
they
tell
let
them.
me come down and sit here and pretend I'm doing a radio show
Oh,
when
Tom
it really
thinks
is
it's
going
You'll
nowhere.
have a psychotic break right in front of you if you tell them it's not real.
But what? So you tell me that Dr. Grossman would take his valuable time to come here and sit with me in the basement?
We paid
that's
him a
where he
lot of
works.
money to evaluate you
That's
today.
where he works every day. You just don't, you didn't know that. The asylum is well appointed, isn't it, Doc?
He worked at Bellevue in New York for over 15 years.
Balls.
I used to exclusively date women who went to Mount Airy. Is that can't even still be around? Mount Airy Psychiatric Hospital here in Denver?
Yeah, I think it's closed.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Awesome. Why?
Well, they were nuts. They didn't know. It's just great. It's just great. If I could, it was like rodeo sex. If you can hang on for 8 seconds, you're doing great. Squirrely girlies. That was.
Can we all agree, though, that Biden sucks?
Certainly his pudding.
It has irritated me how Tom has drifted so far left over the last few years.
Uh-huh. Breaking news, State Department says the U.S. is not planning to evacuate Americans stuck in Haiti. Well, that is some good news. Where's
Haiti's a
Rosemary?
hellhole, man.
Where's our old sales executive, Rosemary? She's probably down there. Here we go.
K-How.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. So, Brenda, bottom line here, we'll call them, but we need an accounting, okay? I don't want to go tit for tat like this on the phone. And Brenda, so here's what we need. Basically, why you feel, let's keep it very simple. We don't have to give a complete history of this project, but I really do want to help you, okay? I mean, you lost your husband in the middle of this. This thing sucks. You basically said one source got paid a certain amount of money. What you want to do is get a rebate, and you feel there's certain items. Can you show that to us in a very simple layout in an email? Can you do that? And then we'll have Deputy Doc call over there, and he's handled these kinds of problems before. Or we can even have Mark call. If I really want to help you, but I want to see first why you feel you need these rebates, okay?
Okay.
So here's how I want
and
you
hold
to do
on,
it.
can I throw one more thing
Go
in
ahead.
here?
Go ahead, Mark.
She's got herself into a situation a lot of people do. She had work done to her house, and they hooked her up with a finance company. You have to separate these in your brain. You owe the finance company that money no matter what. I'm not saying I don't agree that the other company shouldn't refund you,
That's
but
right. That's
it's
right.
a different deal.
That's
they
right.
can lien your house. They can come after you.
I don't think she's suggesting she's not going to pay the loan, right, Brenda? You just want a rebate from one source.
Yes.
So I want to go down the items, and I want you to explain why you need a rebate. Make it very simple for us.
Okay.
Send an email. Kachina, give her our email address, and we'll take it from there and see what we can do to help. Deputy Doc, I'm going to let you take care of this because I really think she needs help. 303-713-TALK. Yes, we have GrossmanWellness.com in the house. We'll get back to the cancer screening and what it really does coming up.
Very nice.
All right.
Don't lie
now.
to us.
Hey, Brenda, can you send that information to help@troubleshooter.com, and then I can forward it on to Tom and Mark?
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
He's there. He's there.
Colin.
Doc is there.
Knock, knock.
Hello?
Yes, who's there?
Colin.
Colin who?
Colin the doctor. I'm sick.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, my God. That is so bad, Mark. My God, that ain't even good.
Doctor, I have some bad news and some very bad news.
Okay.
Patient. Well, might as well give me the bad news first. Doctor, the lab called with your test results. They said you have 24 hours to live. Patient? 24 hours? That's terrible. What could be worse than that? What's the bad news? Doctor, I've been trying to reach you since yesterday. Shut up, Shannon.
That was good.
You know what? I wonder, I know there's been stories like this, but I wonder if anyone ever was told they had a fatal disease, just a very limited time to live, and then found out that they mixed up records. I wonder
Or
if
like
that,
the same last name or something.
No, or they just mixed. I wonder if ever that happened where they.
Of course it has.
I wonder though. I would love to hear the story. Like, how did they change their life? Did it change their life forever?
Well, there's the Tom Hanks movie called Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, my God, that's a horrible movie.
What happens?
Well, he's given a diagnosis that he's going to die, and he decides to sell himself to some island community, some island tribe that wants to throw him in their volcano. and he survives the volcano only to find out that the doctor was wrong. It's an old, very old Tom Hanks movie.
Hey, Doc, how many doctors does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know.
One to find a bulb specialist, one to find a bulb installation specialist, and one to bill it all to Medicare.
Very good.
Doc, can you give Mark a helmet?
Why did the grasshopper go to the doctor?
Go eat your peanut butter.
He kept feeling jumpy.
Well, then use your app.
Apple.
Well, that's more than true.
I love Google. Don't you guys love Google?
It's all right.
I love Googling stuff. How do you know if your friend is senile?
Well, Nerf is on my side, and he is so great talking people. Okay, no, you see there's a pull-down menu, and you click on that, and then you say, he's so good at that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't foresee any problems because he's Grant and he's really good, but he's already emailed me a couple of times. How about this? How about this? How about this? No, it's gonna be fine. It's a live event. Just make sure you go with the flow.
Make sure that the board is going to the transmitter and that you can hear us. That's it. Make sure it leaves the room.
Yep.
Because when you switch back and forth to auto or live assist or voice track or whatever, does it change the sources? Or is the board always hot? Oh,
No,
it does
the board
change
is-
sources?
yeah.
Because that's my only concern.
So it does click over. I mean, you can hear it when it clicks over from voice track mode to live mode. But we only hear that because we hear that. I don't think anybody else does.
No, hey, so long as the remote is going to the transmitter, we'll make up the rest. Because there will be tons. It is so much work setting it up and a fair amount taking it down. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount setting it up. But I will.
This is 100% bullshit. There are no residential plows that I saw anywhere near where I live.
Language.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
right.
just
But,
reacting to what I heard.
But I would, I'd end up, and because you've been on the other side of stage before.
I've done both sides, and I've been all of them up until like last year or the year before, minus the first one.
Gotcha.
And I've been almost all. Yeah.
Well, I'll set my watch for like 20 minutes while the band's playing. Because I got a band. So, no, there's not a lot to know. Just make sure we're rocking the freeway.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly, how's your basketball game going?
I switched it to X. Michigan State was well in control.
Yeah, and language. People are listening. Children, probably.
Highly doubtful, Dragon.
Yeah, the average age of a Tom Martino Show listener is probably
87. We've already looked it up.
You're full of shit.
They need to be educated.
Well, that's an issue as well.
So, Mark, online, one of our
Yes.
morons, Don Liu, says that while I
Don
might make
Liu.
fun of Facebook, they outnumber Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok combined. I doubt that. Or not combined, but he said more than Instagram and Twitter and TikTok.
That's probably true, but
I
definitely
think
not
TikTok.
combined.
Do you really think Facebook members outnumber those?
Well, TikTok's like 180 million, so let's look. Facebook.
Well, let's just. I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask
about
ChatGPT, my man. I'm going to say, who has more users?
Facebook's just older. I mean, it's been around for. I mean, think about it. They made a movie about Facebook over a decade ago. So Facebook's old. So of course they're going to have more members.
Oh, it's a lot more. They've got 3 billion.
Hold on, I'm looking right here.
It's
but
not
a lot
even
of them,
in the same ballpark.
I bet you a lot of those
10 seconds, guys.
Facebook pages are just phantom bullshit.
Well,
Okay.
Signed to
Here,
undercut
TikTok.
her. Join us at 406.
Oh, the TikTok doesn't have that many at all. Yeah. They're wrong. They're wrong. 3 billion?
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice, so you
No,
don't
it
have
is.
to lose.
They say Facebook remains
Come
the
running
largest.
just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's
3
gonna
billion
help.
to
Come
1.5
and
billion.
make
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, I affectionately call the people who stream my show on YouTube, I call my YouTube morons. And but then I call my Facebook people Facebook flunkies. And I said Facebook's kind of a dinosaur. And one guy said Facebook outnumbers them all. And I guess they do. So Facebook has a little over 3 billion active users, it says.
That's insane, man.
And TikTok has 1.5 billion. Why did you say 180 million, Mark? You were way underestimating TikTok.
No, U.S. So there's two numbers. The 3 billion is global. In the United States, the best information I can find is about 250
You're right.
million for Facebook.
Globally, they say 1.9 billion. And I don't know how much of that's in the... Anyway...
the U.S. on TikTok is around 185 million.
Doc has a comment. Before he comes on, remind him what year it is. Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Hey, Tom, talk about misdiagnosis. I don't know if Terry remembers this, but in 95, I had liver cancer, and the people out here, my friends, all the doctors that I knew, told me I had only 6 weeks to live, and to go and, get my affairs in order and everything. And I got a second opinion. I went to Sloan Kettering, and they cured my cancer. And here I am, 40 years later.
But was it a wrong diagnosis, Doc, or just the severity?
Well, no, they didn't know how to treat it. They said there's nothing we can do. So I got I flew out to Sloan Kettering, and they were able to take care of me. And after the surgery, I had absolutely never had any more complications from the cancer.
Wow. God.
That is, hey, Doc, how did you feel? Like, of course you felt horrible. How did that affect your life, though, when they told you have X amount of time to live?
He was pissed off.
I was so angry that I wouldn't get to see my son grow up. That was the biggest thing. But I'll tell you, after the surgery, when I found out that I was cured, for about 2 weeks, you're in this Pollyanna stage that everything is wonderful, life is great, and then you realize you have a family, you have a practice to run, life just comes at you. You can't be a Pollyanna. You have responsibilities, and especially being a physician with a practice, you can't be in La La Land. All the realities of life just come back at you, and you forget about the fact that you escaped death.
Wow.
Now, Tom, have you ever wondered, I think an example would be Michael J. Fox. Very successful. He had great movies. He had that TV show. Then, boom, you get this diagnosis. It's life-changing. And he seemed to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. I don't know. God, do you think you would, or do you think you would give up with a diagnosis like that?
It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. I would like to believe, until it hits you, what do you know? I'd like to believe I'd be a hell of a fighter. But when I think about some paraplegic or quadriplegics, they break their neck or something, I think to myself, what would I don't know if I would be courageous. I don't think I would be. And it depends on the condition, I believe. Could you? I don't think I could be. I think I would be brooding and terrible and try to suck down some fentanyl. I really don't think I would be courageous if I was a quadriplegic. I'm just going to be straight. I don't think I could be. I don't know.
I don't think I could be either.
I'd like to believe under some circumstances I could fire through and be strong. But,
And then from both of our doctors, we've got Deputy Doc. From both of our doctors, Dr. Grossman and Deputy Doc, Well, probably not, Doc, because you were a baby doctor. And Dr. Grossman, I mean, I don't know your career, but if you ever had to confront a patient that's blood work or something has come back, Doc, you've probably had things come up during pregnancies that are horrible. How do you talk to a patient?
Dr. Grossman, in your practice, because you do it so often, you catch things very early. So you've had a lot of, you told me one time, you've had a lot of success not having people in your practice die suddenly. If they do, it's nothing to do with cancer and heart disease and all of that. Weren't you able to catch a lot of that?
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah,
I mean,
but there's always people.
The two biggest killers, United States, worldwide, number one's heart disease, number two is cancer, and that's more than 55-60% of all deaths. If we had the ability to diagnose these very early, at the earliest stages, so in other words, cancer, if it's stage 1, it hasn't spread, it's just localized, the survival rate for almost all cancers is over 95%. Whereas if it's spread at stage 4, metastatic cancer, survival rates are typically much, much lower, sometimes just a few percent. So the idea is early detection. And
Doc, is that all through blood tests?
Yeah, he's going to talk about that cancer screening.
Yeah, the last few years, they've developed what they refer to as a liquid biopsy, where they take a sample of blood and they look for what are called CTCs, circulating tumor cells. And whenever you have a cancer, even if it's the size of a dot, the period at the end of a sentence.
Really?
Yeah. That small a cancer.
They can still detect it.
Yeah, it will give off some cells in your bloodstream, and this test, which is called the Galleri test, also known as the Grail test, as in the Holy Grail, because it really is the Holy Grail of cancer detection, they can test for 50 of the more common types of cancer. Cervical cancer,
so then
colon,
even when it's that minute, that small.
Tiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then what do you do?
Wait, Mark. The first obvious question. If they detect these tumor cells, do they know where they're coming from?
The lab will report the result was either negative or positive, and if it's positive, they will tell you the most likely type of cancer that it is. And in our experience of doing this,
then what do you do?
Then so
cyberknife or what?
Here, it depends on the cancer. So say, for instance, and these are actual examples, someone turned out positive for colon cancer. They went into the gastroenterologist, had a colonoscopy. They were able to see where the tumor was and resect it. It's gone. Another person had endometrial cancer inside
But even if
uterus.
they're tiny, 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 they can find them.
Yeah, we have PET scans and things that are able to detect very small cancers. And in the case that it's not detectable, we now have therapies that are not chemotherapy, the use of things like high-dose vitamin C that can kill cancer cells even when they're
then you do a follow-up Grail test?
Then we do a follow-up Grail test for test of cure.
Have you had this happen in your practice where you found cancers and eradicated it?
We have. I'm glad to say we have.
Holy crap. Cancers that would have surfaced and possibly killed someone.
Well, I don't know what the future is going to be. None of us can predict. But we do know that the test was positive for this type of cancer. We implemented some treatments, and then the follow-up test was negative.
Now, does it show just tumor markers, or does it show tendencies?
No, these are not tumor markers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
These are tumor cells.
What's the difference?
Okay, so let's say, for instance, PSA. We've all heard of PSA for prostate cancer. That's a tumor marker.
Okay.
You can have a high PSA and not have prostate cancer. You just have a big prostate.
Okay, got it.
So it's a marker. This test, the Galleri test,
is actually detecting the cancer.
Is actually detecting
now,
the
wouldn't
cancer
you think
cells.
that insurance companies, seriously, would want everyone to get that? And how often would you get it?
Well, ideally, we would do it every 6 to 12 months, depending on our age, and ideally, insurance would pay for it.
Because it saves them money in the long run.
You'd think that would be cost effective, but the bottom line is
they won't
it's
pay
still
for it.
Not covered by insurance.
What does it cost?
It's in the neighborhood of $950. So it's not an inexpensive test, and insurance doesn't pay for it. So that's remained a barrier to universal adoption.
Mark, would you ever want one of those?
Yeah, I would have no problem. In fact, I'll probably have it done.
I will too.
What was that thing that they put up on your artery, Tom, and then look for issues there on your neck?
Okay, so this is the other
Go
thing.
ahead, yeah.
Right. So we had mentioned the two causes, heart disease and cancer.
Yes.
So we've talked about the cancer early detection.
Yes.
With the Galleri test. And then for heart disease early detection, it's just what you're speaking about, Mark. It's an ultrasound of the carotid arteries, the arteries in the neck that go to the brain. And this is extremely accurate at letting you know if you've had the earliest buildup of cholesterol in the arteries. If you have arteries in your neck, the carotids, overwhelmingly you have them in your heart as well and other parts of your body. So you can then do follow-up tests. So early detection really is key. And I think
Doc,
the time has come that we can look at the end of cancer and the end of heart disease.
But Doc, that's what I asked Tom when he was talking. He had that done a couple of years ago. I don't know if you did it or
I do it
somebody
every 6
else.
months.
Yeah, so when you have it, and let's say you do detect some kind of blockage or possible blockage or whatever you detect, what does that mean? I mean, what is the fix? You put them on a statin, or the fix could be different depending on what you find? I mean, I would hate for someone to tell me, hey, this test came back negative, but there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
That's really never the case. So the goal of doing the detection, the early detection, is to find it early when it's easy to treat. The earlier it is, the easier
But you
it is
can
to
treat it at any stage, Mark, including up to surgery.
And we've had people come in and they had extensive and severe disease, and we didn't call them and say, hey, listen, we need to make an appointment and talk about this in 2 weeks. We sent them right to the hospital, and they had emergency surgery. So
and that would prevent not just heart disease, but stroke.
Stroke, heart disease, yes, absolutely.
So you see, the key in
It's
medicine,
incredible.
In American medicine, it's always been acute medicine. You have a problem and you fix it. And the shift is now going toward you look for problems and prevent them. You
Not
look
with
for-
health insurance companies, it's
no,
not.
and that's what it should be. If there were ever investors who wanted to really come out with a new insurance company, they would have preventive care as mandatory. And even though that would be spread out, the price would come down if they have more participants to begin with. Then once that happens, their total aggregate spending, they wouldn't have millions of dollars in cancer and heart. I mean, a cancer patient can eat up $1 million, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Easily. A heart patient can eat up 900,000.
Easily.
You guys talk about, you both talked about markers compared to the actual cells you find in that blood test. I'm curious about something. Doc, when someone does one of these 23andMe's or these genetic tests, and they come back and you do the full health part of it as well as the ancestry, and they come back and say, well, you have some genes that you might have Alzheimer's, or you have some genes
that show up in people. That's right. They show tendencies.
What does that mean? Because you carry a gene that could convert, is there something you could do at that point to make?
So one of the most common genes that is a predictor is the gene for Alzheimer's. It's called the ApoE gene. And people who have an abnormal variety of the ApoE gene can be as much as 3 to 6 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's than if they don't have
What do
this
you do
gene.
about it?
Yeah, that's the question then. Why do the test if you can't do anything? Well, there's a physician colleague, Dale Bredesen, who's written a wonderful book, How to Prevent and Reverse Alzheimer's Disease. And anybody that we do this test on, we find out they have this ApoE variant, we'll tell them, listen, go to Dr. Bredesen's.
And what does he do?
I bet a lot of it's diet and exercise.
The low carb diet. He has some supplements he recommends, stress management. There's a lot of things you can do to prevent Alzheimer's now. And the good news is it looks like in 2025 there'll be an FDA-approved drug to prevent Alzheimer's disease in people who carry this predisposing gene.
Oh,
that
wonderful.
is incredible.
We got to take a break. And Kevin will come right back to you. He wants to give props to Rocky Mountain Sewer and Drain, 303-713-8255. Listen, stay tuned. We have a lot more to talk about, including 888 Heating. I can't believe they're doing it. If you call today, they're going to do a free furnace inspection. This is crazy. So if you're having problems, now they may not be able to get out there today, but you call them. Free furnace inspection. If this scared the hell out of you, you still need your furnace because it also runs your air. 303-770-2776.
What? You don't think they'll get there today?
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose.
All right, Fuller's on access. He's ready to go for you. And 10 seconds.
Omni Interlaken Hotel, Broomfield. Weight loss at 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Information at markpatrickseminars.com.
So we're on accident alert. What that means is police won't come. You just got to do what? Yeah, a counter report. And then what about exchanging information? And then you have to go after a personal injury claim. Is that sufficient? John Fuller, attorney at law, personal injury attorney. What should we do on accident alert?
Well, here's a little piece of advice, Tom. If you're in an accident and we're on accident alert, assume that the other party is going to accuse you of being at fault. No matter how clearly it may seem to you that they were at fault, assume that the finger is ultimately going to be pointed at you and act accordingly. So get your camera out, take pictures of the scene, try to contact witnesses, get the name and number of somebody that you can call that witnessed what happened, and stop to see if you were okay. All of those things will go a long way to helping you rebut somebody else claiming that you were at fault down the road. Take a picture of the other driver, take a picture of everything that you can, and then, as always, follow up and do that accident report online or however you do for the different jurisdictions. It's important, but they don't, they're not dispositive of a liability dispute. So go the extra mile, protect yourself. By all means, if you have questions, give us a call right away. We can help more earlier in the process than we can later, and we're always there to help. So give us a call. We're happy to help out.
Thank you, John. And that really drives home the point you always make about dash cams, too.
Absolutely. More than ever, your dash cams are going to be critical on days like this where the police are not going to come out. That may very well be your only record, but guess what? It's the very best record that you can have, a full-color video of exactly what went down.
John Fuller, Fuller Law. You can find him at referralist.com or his website, myaccidentlawyer.co. 303-597-4500. You'll notice the difference of that personal touch. His cell phone number is given to you when you're a client, and you can call or text at any time, 303-597-4500. All right, right now, Sheridan Auto Tech will take care of your car, and they keep accurate records. That means if your car's under warranty, you can still have regular service done at Sheridan Auto Tech. Yeah, you can, cheaper than a dealer. Now, if a warranty item comes up, that's fine. You can go to a dealer, but here's the deal. If you need records, Sheridan has them. They can take care of your new cars, and they do it cheaper, and they do it better. Sheridan Auto Tech, they also do pre-buy inspections on used cars. Anything car-related, including electrical, SheridanAutotech.com, Colfax, west of Wadsworth, 303-455-7242. The Art of Granite will give you a price right now on the phone for your countertops. People say, is a price important? Well, of course it is, because they don't just give you a low price and then raise it. They're pretty damn accurate. Mark used these guys and got a price on the phone. You can too. All you have to do is give them a call, explain the project, and maybe what you want, like granite, marble, quartzite. They do it all. 303-386-5919, 386-5919.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
You guys should, literally have a product or something to push for the doc there. I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm just
hold on.
thinking out loud.
Let me come off of our YouTube here.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a lot of actually, there's nothing wrong with that. I think we hit it, and we hit it hard when we come back. Let's hit it.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Given the fact that that's normally $850, it's a great value.
And what Mark is saying is true. He's saying that while people are interested in health, if all I talk about is an ongoing, relationship and health and all that, they want to hear, well,
we can give them hormones.
I get it. Yeah, for sure. We'll hit it though.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about price on everything. That's not my point, but we still haven't. Right now, you're an expert that's on the show. We're asking you a lot of questions, but that people don't even know. There's no call to action yet. We've got to do something.
That's right.
Maybe you throw in a free pepperoni pizza.
There you go.
We're getting a lot of text messages about potato chips.
Hey, are we up or down?
We're up. I can come down. You want me to?
Yeah, bring it down. Hey, Doc, I do have a question, though. Out of your entire practice, insurance makes up what percent? If you're not comfortable answering.
I don't think you do any, do you?
No, we don't bill insurance
at all.
Oh, zero.
Yeah. His is concierge total. I mean, it's optional stuff.
I did not know
it's
that.
Preventive care.
No. I get that part, but I did not realize they don't bill for anything.
Now, here's the deal.
No, we'll give people what they call super bills.
Yeah.
And then they can submit it to their insurance companies for reimbursement.
Now, there are certain things that I get reimbursed. I get reimbursed for certain things, but he doesn't.
Fiduciary Advisors, TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kevin, you want to give props to Rocky Mountain Sewer and Drain. What happened?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I called your show one day here at the beginning of February because I had a broken water main at my business.
Yeah.
And, of course, when you have a broken water main, you're looking as quickly as possible to get someone to work on it. But you guys had on your website Rocky Mountain Sewer and Drain.
Jose and his son.
Jose and his son.
Yeah.
They came out, and I would have liked to have seen it done quicker, but I understand it was a lot of hand digging, and it took what time it took, but they did an excellent job.
Oh, that's good.
And I bet the price was better than any other price you got.
Well, I didn't get any other prices. Like here again, when you got a broken water main, you don't have a lot of time to go shopping around.
Hell of a good point.
And there's not a lot of people that are equipped to do that job. So
those guys, Tom, I need to, there's small businesses and big businesses. What is amazing to me, I love our big businesses that are in Denver, like Plumline and Fix It and these guys.
Good people.
But the overhead on some of their jobs is pretty big. This guy basically does most of his work in the springs, so he doesn't even compete with our other people. But I'm telling you, it's a father and son. They own all their own equipment. They can go in and do any kind of sewer line repair, and that's all they do. They're sewer line people. If you're building a new house and want water lines and sewer lines, they'll come out. They do the excavation. They do the lines. They do everything. They're great guys.
Good to know. That really is.
They came down to Parker for me.
Also,
nice, man.
We have someone else who does really good work too, and that's Anthony or Tony over at what's his Rooter? What is the name again? A Master Rooter, right?
Oh yeah, Tony does a good job. Plumline has their own excavation.
No, I'm not discounting the big guys, and of course, Fix It. They added their own drain division. They're fine too, but sometimes for quick, easy, low-cost jobs, these smaller guys can maneuver better. They just can. That's just the way it is. But
it is.
303-713-8255. So we were talking about screening as opposed to patching, going after things. So the best screening. I love this Grail test. I'm going to have that done. That's a cool idea. And I know you've suggested it before, the Grail. And then there is colonoscopies are great, and blood work. What else? What other screening would you recommend if people are really want to do it?
Well, this carotid test that we've talked about
good.
before is, I think, an absolute that anybody over the age of 35 should get.
That's good. Then what about like with general screening?
What, Tom, you said something I don't want to glance over. Colonoscopy. They have these tests now that instead of going in and doing what we all know is a colonoscopy if you're over 50 or over 45, how about these ones where you basically go into a bag and send it off? Are they as accurate?
They're almost as accurate. It's called the Cologuard. And
yeah.
Well, I mean, some people are averse to doing the colonoscopy, and it's better to do the Cologuard than do nothing.
Right.
And it's actually almost as accurate.
But Mark, we do know somebody, who.
No, what do you mean?
Well, I don't know if you know.
Oh, I did not know that.
That's right. Well, she had.
I know. I just put that all together in the last 2 seconds.
Cologuard.
I did not know that.
She did Cologuard. It came back clean. And
I'm going to have a talk with Suzanne then because she ended up doing that.
She was in pain and pressure. She went in and had a massive problem and is now fighting for her life. And he told me he will.
I did not know about the Cologuard aspect.
But I believe it's better than nothing. But man, did that change his mind about that.
God, it would change my mind. In fact, it did.
Okay, 303-713-8255. So
God, you bummed me out with that part.
Yeah, well, why? Do you do Cologuard?
No, I do. Well, as you know.
You did the full.
So Doc, you'll love this one. My first colonoscopy, I'm with Kaiser. I've been with Kaiser for probably longer than I should have been, but I go in, I have it done, and nothing against the doctor, but he finds a polyp. And what I didn't realize about colon cancer is how preventative it is. If you have something that hasn't turned cancerous yet, but they know it's going to, and they get rid of it by clipping it, I mean, you're pretty much done. It's really a remarkable thing. But he clipped it too close, so I end up having my second colonoscopy the very next day in the emergency room because I was bleeding.
Yeah, it was their fault. But
yeah, that's unfortunate. But the good thing about colon cancer is it's a slow-growing cancer, and that's why if you do a colonoscopy and it's negative, they don't find anything, no polyps, etc. You don't need to repeat the procedure for 10 years.
Is it true, though, if you have polyps and they take them, they send them out to the lab, they're non-cancerous, that basically it's done and over? I mean, you're good, you go in for your next one. But if they get rid of it before it's cancer, you're, for the most part, safe, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the idea is if they go in, they find some benign polyps, if they find 1 or 2, they might say, well, instead of waiting 10 years, come back in 5 years. But if they find multiple, 3 or 4 or more polyps, they may come back in 2 or 3 years. So the idea
that's what
is
they
to do
did.
what's
they
necessary.
said for me 3 years. Yep.
Yeah, then you must have had a little bit more complicated polyp. But in any event, by following their advice and doing it on their schedule, the chances of developing a colon cancer that's going to prove to be untreatable is almost zero.
Now,
you know what? I'm sorry, Tom. I
go.
love this conversation. So it makes me think of who was the Apple guy? Steve Jobs. What kind of cancer did he have? Either of you?
He had a neuroendocrine tumor of the pancreas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing to me? That he taught me a lesson. I used to think, well, if you got money, no matter what you get, you can probably get rid of it, which is total BS because the guy had $1 billion. Back when $1 billion was $1 billion,
Mark, his
and he couldn't get rid of it.
It was that it was not detected in time.
Well, there were a lot of things that happened in his case, such as, for instance, the whole reason that the company's called Apple was because he went for a year eating nothing but apples. And that's like a pure sugar diet. So, he just because he had a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean he knew everything he needed to know about health.
God, that's scary. I didn't know that.
All right, take a break when you can.
Okay,
Tom.
we got to take a break. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man, will do a valuation of your home if you're looking to know what it's going to sell for. And he doesn't just drive by. He analyzes the square footage, the house, the comps, the neighborhood, supply and demand, interest rates, and he gives you an accurate price on what it will sell for based on his 30 years of experience. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Looks like the roads are back to healthy driving throughout the Denver metro for the most part. Up on the north end of
I
town,
can't believe I did
I-25
Frank
southbound.
in-house
We've got a
when I
crash
had
off
him
on the
on the
right
schedule.
shoulder approaching
I just saw
Northwest
that.
Parkway. However, delays are minimal. Slowdowns continue C470 over on the southwest end of town. You're seeing some stop and go traffic around the Dakota Ridge area. Further west, I-70 east and westbound remain closed between Hidden Valley, Central City, and the Denver metro. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, snow flurries throughout the rest of the day into tonight and tomorrow, high 35. Tomorrow, high 41, where the snow is tapering off by the afternoon and evening. The current temperature is 32 degrees with your impact traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Looking for a career you'll
You're coming next, buddy.
love, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join the growing team at Progressive Insurance. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Now, you heard me talk about Frank Duran, the real estate man, doing that free market valuation for your home to see what it will sell for. Here's what else Frank does. He sells houses faster and for more money than the market average, and he has stats to prove it. In fact, Frank sells more homes in a month than most sell in a year, and in a year, probably more than most sell in their career. And he has the stats. He says, Tom, I don't do the gimmicks. I guarantee this, or I'll write you a check, or I'm going to buy your house. He says, because really and truly, you're not going to get the full value unless you sell it on the market, and I can do it, and I can show you how it's done. And I swear to you, I have never found anyone better. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
See, the one thing that I would worry about, I don't know if your wife and I are the same, but it would be like, okay, how am I going to plug in my flat iron?
Nope, she doesn't care about any of that crap.
How am I going to plug in a hairdryer?
Nope, doesn't care.
How am I going to plug in my cell phone to charge?
Nah, I've already got that all covered.
Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, you need to be there early tomorrow. So I'm thinking 4:30 a.m. just in case.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'll work on that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure that couch on the third floor is sanitary. You can sleep on that.
No. Shannon's got an extra room.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, let's just go. Well, he's not going to be
that's right. He's
in the
not here
van
tomorrow.
tonight. So.
Oh. Well, is the van going to be there?
Yes.
Well, there you go. What are you bitching
Okay.
about?
All right.
I heard he's
Work
got
on it.
heat.
I'm sure Odessa will have no problem being in her kennel for 18 and plus hours.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, doesn't look bad right now. So I'm thinking I could probably power through it. It wasn't that bad this morning, but
Isn't it supposed to get worse, though?
No, it's supposed to stop, but it's be consistent until morning.
I thought at first it was going all night and then tomorrow, but I guess not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Thank goodness.
It hasn't snowed here for about an hour.
Should I come in tomorrow, or Mark, are you going to go in tomorrow?
We're going to play it by ear. I have no idea yet.
And what about car experts? Who do we have?
I don't know if I'll be able to leave our house.
Who do we have lined up? I might have to go in then.
Kevin and hold on.
Jeff, probably.
Kevin and Jeff, they could probably both go to your house.
Is there enough mics at his place?
No.
Yeah, he's had
Kevin
two
and
people there before.
No. Can you imagine? No.
Have you heard of
Terzepatide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the generic name for Mounjaro, which is the next generation after Ozempic. It's a little bit more powerful.
Is it better?
Wow.
Yeah. Like they say that people can lose. I think it's a better drug, period. It really
won't
is.
talk to you either.
I mean,
Less side effects,
Ozempic
Doc?
is good. Terzepatide is better.
Do you do that?
Yeah. A little bit.
What do you charge for that?
I think it's around $3.95 a month.
Oh, that's not bad, actually, at all.
Well, when you given that the name brand stuff is $1,500, yeah, it's a fraction, it's a third. I mean, it gets down to if you use the generics, it gets down to a price that, a whole lot more people can afford than $1,500 a month. And insurance usually doesn't pay for it, unless you're a diabetic.
I go back to that whole thing Tom was saying about insurance. You get someone that's obese and put them on that. If you're the health insurance company, you could save yourself millions of dollars.
And more insurance companies actually are turning to that and that model, and they're beginning to pay for it.
I'll tell you one thing I do like about Kaiser, Doc. They are preventative. If I walk in there, if I'm 5 pounds overweight, they're giving me phone numbers to call. I mean, these guys will call you out on everything.
Right. Well, they're a prepaid model, and if they can keep you healthy, then it's going to cost them less money. So they're
you're right. I guess you're right, because they're the insurance company and the physicians. You're absolutely right. They are a prepaid model.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense for them to want to keep you healthy.
Adam says I'm not eating your meat.
But the bigger companies, if you think about it, if all of a sudden they decided, okay, we're going to start screening everybody at 40 for colon cancer instead of 50 or whatever the ages are, it would cost them so much that year, they're never going to make that decision. They're going to have to be forced into it.
Well, exactly. I mean, insurance companies are businesses.
10 seconds,
and they
guys.
simply have to decide at what age does it make sense. I mean, maybe we just
630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
But they can't afford it.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Let's talk to Mark. He has a question for Dr. Grossman. Mark, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hi, I just wondered if you guys could talk about prostate, if what's coming up with treatments with prostate cancer, and is there anything new coming along the lines for that?
Now, are you asking for yourself?
My dad had it, and I'm concerned I'll have it.
And do you get regular PSA checks?
I haven't in a long time, but I need to start again.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Has
do.
it ever run high?
With that history, why wouldn't you be doing it? I'm just curious. Are you just afraid of the result?
No, I'm just super busy, and I don't make a whole lot of money. So,
well, the good news is the prostate cancer screening test, the PSA, it's like in the neighborhood, even if you're paying cash for it, $25. So it's not an expensive test.
Oh, okay.
And with a
All
family
right.
history, I think that you should definitely want to do that every year, at least.
Every year, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
but
that's,
there are,
I
you had
didn't
asked
know.
if there are new treatments. There's a stream of new treatments that are coming on board involving lasers, radiation, gamma knife, focused ultrasound. So, there's many, many treatments that are not, in the old days, they did these removal of the prostate, which often was a complicated procedure, but now they have some very, very elegant, precise procedures that they can do. So once again, early detection is key here. So get your PSA every year.
Hey, Doc, is there false negatives or false positives on PSA tests generally, or they're pretty
like
solid?
every test there is.
You can have high PSA and not have a tumor, yes.
Yeah, and the good news is there's now a urine test. Let's say, for instance, you go in, you get your PSA, it's a bit on the high side. In the old days, which is 5 years ago, the urologist say, okay, well, let's go in and do a biopsy, which is not comfortable and has its own sets of risks. Well, now there's another test called an ExoDx, ExoDx, and that's a urine test, and it will tell you if it's likely to be something that you need to be concerned to get a biopsy or if it's likely to be benign.
Hey, you mentioned that PSA test, $25. On your services, a concierge doctor services. So I know for $249, people can go in, get their initial blood work done, have the consultation and everything like that. But if you suggest different things like blood tests, what do they do? Do you do them in office, or do you have to go somewhere else?
That's the
I'm just a
wonderful
little
thing.
more curious about your services.
That's the wonderful thing, Mark. Everything is in-house. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do. So, for instance, people can come in, get their blood work drawn in-house. The carotid IMT test we do in-house. the collection for all of these different
tests. Yep.
Everything's done in-house.
Yeah, and then they give you a beautiful box of supplements that he's put together. And then if you need extra or less, or, they customize it. It's not one of these places where one size fits all. Everyone is on different kinds of supplements based on blood work. When people tell me they're on supplements, you know what I say to them? How do you know you're on the right ones? How do you know? You don't know. I mean,
it means you're taking a multivitamin every day.
Well, there's
is what
nothing
they're
wrong,
saying.
I guess, with that. But what I'm saying is, in general, there are things you shouldn't have too much of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah,
okay,
and
Tom,
it's-
Tom's been going to you forever, and I don't know if Tom's agreed to talk on the
Yes,
air
I
about
did,
it, but
yes.
okay, so basically you go in, get your blood work every 3 months, and then, Doc, you look at it, and, give me an idea, like, oh, your vitamin D's too high, so the supplements we're going to tell you are going to be less vitamin D or more, or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So we'll look at his cholesterol and say, okay, your cholesterol's too high. We need to lower it a little bit more. Your vitamin T's too low. You need to take a little bit more. Your testosterone is off. We need to
or you need zinc, or you need this. But the great news with me is we've been level on we've dialed it in, which is really cool. And then he does
It's
other
preventable
tests.
maintenance. You're basically doing preventable maintenance on the human body.
He does do a yearly, though, that is more intense, physical, and that's good. That's what you want, right? And then in that kind of thing, they check other things. You checked muscle density and where we stand on percentiles.
Yeah, we have a special scale.
Yeah.
And this scale very accurately will measure your fat mass, your muscle mass, your body water, whether or not you have any fat inside your liver, fatty liver they call it, all of those things. I think that's very important. We do that every year.
And I don't mean to brag, but I was like seriously, he told me I'm like in the 98th percentile for muscle mass. And that's for age, or is that for?
Yeah, it's compared to other men your age.
Okay.
And what's a good reading for that? So you mentioned 3 things. You mentioned fat, muscle, and water. So what should a human be made up with? Percentile. What would be the ultimate?
Yeah.
Well, I can give a percentage for fat, and in general, ideally men should be less than 20% fat, between 12 and 20.
Man, that's hard to do, right?
Well, you're in a minority group because given that 75% of Americans are overweight, if you're in that range, you're probably in a minority group. But there's a big difference between being 22 and being 32.
Right.
So we look to be in that range. For women, it's a little higher. Women have more fat. 20 to 26 is considered optimal for a woman. So we measure that, make sure that people are in the right group. And if not, then we want to, work on getting to an optimal weight.
Do I need to do this break? I'm sorry, did I miss it? Okay, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Looks like the roads are back to healthy driving throughout the Denver metro for the most part. Up on the north end of town, I-25 southbound, we've got a crash off on the right shoulder approaching Northwest Parkway. However, delays are minimal. Slowdowns continue C470 over on the southwest end of town. You're seeing some stop and go traffic around the Dakota Ridge area. Further west, I-70 east and westbound remain closed between Hidden Valley, Central City, and the Denver metro. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, snow flurries throughout the rest of the day into tonight and tomorrow, high 35. Tomorrow, high 41, where the snow is tapering off by the afternoon and evening. The current temperature is 32 degrees with your Impact Traffic and Weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive Insurance is making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
All right. RKC Automotive. Happy to have them in our Troubleshooter family. RKC, Ramondo and his team will do a great job maintaining your car, old or new, foreign or domestic. He's on Evans west of Tejon. And RKC, what they believe in is having customers for life. So with any repair or maintenance, they do free courtesy inspections of the entire car to keep you running and to let you know what's up. 720-749-3965. You can find RKC Automotive in Denver on Facebook, 720-749-3965. 3965. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Now, I talked about his free market valuations, and I've talked about him selling when he lists more homes than anyone, and he has outbound marketing. Here's another thing. If you're looking to buy a home, he can do that too. What an incredible service. And you know what I love? Frank doesn't make you sign a long-term contract. If you want to cancel, you can cancel. That's how confident he is. You'll be happy. And when it comes to buying homes, he has so many under listings anyway, but then he knows of so many others. He's even helped me buy a home by finding out it was going on the market and being one of the first. He has the inside track, 303-920-1622.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
I got one of those smart scales my wife bought.
Okay, no
Are
problem.
those accurate, those smart scales you buy in the store?
Some are, some aren't. Usually
it's
not.
I don't know how accurate it is, but I can tell you this. Mine usually tracks up on the fat part around 30, which is not good. So,
What it does is that the one with the bare feet, Mark, or the hands?
No, you got to be bare feet, and you got to stand a certain way, and there's like some kind of
electrical.
I don't know how it works. Some
It does
kind of laser
electrical
that
resistance.
comes up.
Because what it figures is muscle has more resistance than fat, and they measure it.
I mean, there was nothing cheap about it. I'm sure it's not the
How much
kind
did you
of
spend on the
you'd have
scale?
in a doctor's office.
Now, there are some you stand and hold your hands.
Yeah, that's what we have in our office. And honestly, we spent, I think, $14,000 for it. So it's real accurate. It's not a whole lot.
No. It was nothing like that, man.
Yeah, if you spent like $20 or $30, Mark, it's just doing.
No.
a simple math
In
calculation.
fact, hold on. Hey, Suzanne. I think she's in the shower.
Let me see. I'm
going to look on Amazon. 'cause
That's
where
exactly
we
what
got
I'm
it.
doing right now. I'm looking to, what would you call it? A fat measuring
Smart scale.
Body
Smart scale.
composition scale.
I'm going to look up the actual one I bought, though.
Okay, here's what we have. These body comp scales. So one is $19.99. I'm not sure. And it
Nope.
works-
No.
That's just doing simple math. It's going to think you're still fat.
Okay. Have you tried them, Drag?
I've got one at home, but it's one of the cheap smart scales, so it just does simple calculations and simple math. So it takes my height
But
and my weight.
it does send electrical current though through it, right?
So it says.
Yeah. They're all cheap on Amazon. There's no expensive. Well, there's one for $2.99, but
I think ours was $200 or $300.
Yeah, then maybe yours will do it.
I don't.
Maybe.
I don't know what.
It seems. I'll tell you this. It seems to know what it's doing. When I was on that crash diet, man, I mean, it drastically changed.
This is cool. Every one of them now works with the app. With an app.
Why don't
Yeah,
you,
this
Mark,
one you
come
set
by
up
the
on an
clinic
app.
sometime?
Yeah, Mark,
and
come
I'll be
by the
happy.
clinic.
I'll be happy to do one of our, more advanced scans that are accurate, and you can compare it to the one at home.
You know what? That would be interesting to actually see
Yeah,
the difference.
That would be.
Yeah,
In
measure
fact,
yourself
what
in
I
the
do-
morning and come in to see me in the afternoon. We'll see how close they
Yeah.
are.
That would be really cool.
Am I the only person that when I weigh myself, I do it right as I get up, completely naked, no clothes on?
That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what most people do.
I think that's fairly
Yeah.
common.
In fact,
Make sure you take a shit first.
exactly.
well put.
No, it's true though, man. It is. It's like you want to be consistent on how you weigh yourself, no matter how you look at it.
Now,
Never
how often
weigh
do you think
yourself
is it like
Thanksgiving
once a
night.
week, every day?
So, Dragon, Doc, listen to this. You want to hear something amazing? How many pounds did you shed, Dragon?
I've lost over 170 pounds.
And how long have you kept them off?
3 years. Took me about
And-
a year, and I've kept it off for 3 more years.
And
what
how
did
have you
use
kept
to
them
lose
off?
it? How did you lose it?
Oh, this old-fashioned thing that I wish I was told sooner, just eating right and exercising.
That's the trick.
And he
Good job.
exercises
Congratulations.
every day.
Every day.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of weight to lose.
Yeah,
I
it's
started
crazy.
at over
isn't it?
350, so they're...
You know, most people in that kind of body weight, Dragon, they're talking those belly bands or tubes or whatever they
Yeah.
do now. They don't do it the
here we go,
natural
guys.
way.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So we've talked about detection, and we've also talked about monitoring. You notice we're not talking so much about fixing, although there are fixing things you can do. But detection, I think Grossman Wellness concentrates on early detection of stuff and monitoring and measuring. I mean, because really, other than that, what do you have? I mean, most primary care doctors, you can go in, I think, once a year under insurance to get a wellness check now. I guess they let you do that. But really, you only see them when something is wrong, not when you never can tell when something is trending. But there is something else, Doc, that I do outside of your clinic that I think a lot of people neglect, and that's a dermatology check once a year.
I think that's critical.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you see something, obviously you can tell people get that checked or whatever when you're looking at your patients, but that's something they should do no matter who they are, where they are, no matter what clinic they go to, because most clinics don't do dermatology checks, right?
Most don't. That's true.
Yeah. So with a dermatology check, that's another thing you can catch. I was told by my dermatologist, if you go yearly, very seldom will there be anything untreatable, right?
Absolutely.
But it's amazing how people just only go when a spot shows up or something happens. Mark, does Kaiser have that as part of their wellness care?
I missed that part. What?
Dermatology checking.
Well, interesting. Yes. I mean, I've never been to a dermatologist because I haven't had any strange moles or anything. But when I go in for a yearly physical,
right,
they do look for anything skin cancer wise. And if they find anything, they would refer you.
Okay. Well, you know what? That is really important. So we covered that. What have we not covered, Doc? Because really, that detection and monitoring and measuring, dermatology, and when I say measuring, monitoring, that's at your clinic with the scans and with all of that. So with this cancer check, this Grail test, you don't really need those body scans anymore they used to do. Remember they used to do those full body? Do you even need that anymore?
Well, we do a combination for cancer detection. One thing we do is what we've talked about, the Grail test that checks for 50 kinds of cancer, but also we like to do these whole body MRIs.
Oh, really?
We look at to see what we can see there as well. So we do both.
Oh, I did
so
not.
We try to be very, very proactive.
Okay, we have more coming up. Get your calls in 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. More with Dr. Grossman and all of your calls on anything you want.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about hormones.
Okay, hold on. I got to have an argument with Tom.
Okay.
Tom.
Uh-oh.
It is glance over.
No, Mark, it's not. The expression is, I don't want to gloss over it. It's not glance over it.
What I was saying is, I don't want to glance over it.
Yeah, but that's not the actual saying. I mean,
It's
I
my
imagine
saying.
you can say, I don't want to whatever over. I don't want to piss over it. You can say whatever you want. But
Exactly.
The most common phrase is, I don't want to gloss over it.
I glance over my shoulder.
And by the way,
to make
Mark,
sure.
I did that privately, so you're the one that brought it up. I never do that publicly.
I don't mind if you do that. Well, maybe I don't want you to do it publicly.
Mark just says a couple times, I don't want to glance over that. And then he says, so he'll say, can you explain that more? And I know what he means. I don't want to gloss over it. I mean, that's just the expression, but.
I don't know, because I would glance over my shoulder, for example. I wouldn't gloss over my shoulder.
No, but that's not the expression is I don't want to gloss over. That's just the expression. Take it up with fucking etymology. I mean, I don't know.
I love when we argue diction.
Yeah, right, because you're usually right? My diction and grammar cannot stand up to yours. And by the way, that's true. It can't.
That is true.
Did you ever, this happened to you, and it happens to me all. There's certain words that I can't think of them right now, but I'll start saying it, and I can't frickin' say it.
It kills you. I know.
And then I try to avoid them, but when I'm in the middle of it, I'm trying to think what some of them are.
You've actually created some issues like that with me. What are the two kinds of deeds you can have? One in common and one
tenancy in common and
tenancy in common or
joint tenancy.
Tenants in common or joint tenancy.
Right.
And for the life of me, the only reason I get the two mixed up is because of you.
I know
because you have mixed them up.
I have never.
mix them
Do you
up.
know all the shit that I remember over 46 years of this show? All the shit and the little terms. I mean, that's the one. I still, when you said that, I can't think of which one
is which.
That's the one. I don't know why I don't have a memory aid for that. But which one? Let's see. Joint tenants and joint tenancy, and then tenants in common. And I don't know which one has all of it. Where you both have all of it, and then each one has a divided interest. I don't know. Joint is
And
a
then,
divided
like,
interest. Okay.
Joint, you both own it.
You
So
both
if one
own all
dies,
of it.
The other one owns all of it.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's joint, meaning you both own it.
Right.
Yeah, like most couples would do. And then Tim, of course, now on YouTube's busting my balls because I said preventable maintenance.
It's preventive.
Well, I don't even know what he means. I'm Googling it right now. It is. It's preventive. You're right. But I still think preventable sounds fine. Right, Doc?
Well, a lot of people say preventative, and really it's preventive. But you can say preventative. I think.
My favorite though is when we'll have callers call up and go, "Well, isn't the statute of limitations up now?"
The statute, I know. I have to use the restroom. See, I asked Chat GPT so many things like joint tenancy and tenants in common are two blah, 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 blah. Joint tenancy is rights. That's what he said. Rights of survivorship. You both own the whole thing. And then, and joint tenants, yeah, that's the same.
But if you got this call tomorrow,
I
you
know,
would have to look it up again.
Tenants in common each own half. Or whatever.
And I'll tell you why.
Or whatever each own.
And I'll tell you why it messes with your brain. Because the term tenants in common, to me, means you both have the same common ownership, meaning if we both own 100% of it.
Right. I'll be right back.
I'm good, Tom. Thanks.
Doc, we got so much snow out here, it is crazy.
Where are you?
Franktown. I mean,
man.
I had 30 to 40 inches on our decks. The problem is it compacts so quick, it's melting. Now we've got maybe 20 inches, but it weighs 40 inches.
Oh, I hear you. No, in town here, where Tom and I are, we have a foot.
God, that's crazy this time of year.
No, March is our month for the big snows.
Yeah, you're right, and it'll be gone like it usually is in a couple days.
You know what the second snowiest month is in Denver?
April.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so we get our big snows late.
You know what's amazing, though? People, we were just in Mexico a couple weeks ago. Oh, it's really cold there. And it's like, it's hard to explain to people the difference from the mountains in Denver Metro, where we get 300-plus days of sunshine a year.
Yeah, no, it really is true. The mountains, they get, I think they're cloudy half the time.
Yeah, that's all people from other countries especially think of when they think of Denver. All they know is the Broncos playing while it's snowing, and they think it's like that every day.
They say that, when Denver's playing like on Monday Night Football and it snows, it's like worth hundreds of millions to the ski industry.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. In fact, they get a little upset if they mention it.
Yep. But
hey, let me ask you this. Is it could care less or could not care less?
I think either one works.
I do too. Thank you.
But I think grammatically, I could not care less is correct.
Everybody understands what you're
Because when you say I could
yeah.
care less, well, you could.
I could
but if
care
you
less.
Could not care less, it means you could give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Where could care less means I don't care. Yeah.
So I think the correct one is I couldn't care less, could not.
Where'd you go to med school?
I grew up in Florida, and I went to the University of Florida Medical School, and then I came out to Colorado to do my residency in Denver, and I've been in Colorado for 50 years ever since.
When did you meet Doc? When did you and Doc first meet, as far as you can remember?
You mean Ken Manfrey, Doc?
Yeah, Deputy Doc. Yeah,
Deputy
we call him
Doc. We've
Deputy
been playing. Well, I haven't played poker with those guys for over 10 years, but probably 25, 30 years ago, we started playing poker as a group of doctors, and then after about 15 years, the group kind of fell apart. Some of the doctors moved away. Some of them passed away. And then he's got a new group together, and I never got involved with that new group.
All right.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have
I'm going to be calling somebody here. Same rule. They know all about it.
Troubleshooter's gonna help come and make.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Okay, have you heard that there is a bus stuck? It was going up to the mountains.
Lady skiers.
Yeah, and what happened was they got stuck, and as a result, they haven't been able to leave. They can't even turn around and come back, because all of the roads are closed. And
what's the first?
Thing you
thought about?
Yesterday afternoon,
what's the first thing you thought about?
What did I think about?
Yeah, when I first saw the story, it was like 5:30 this morning on Fox 31 or 9 or whatever it was, and they said they'd been there since yesterday. What's the first thing you thought about?
Oh, my God. What? I don't know. What did you think?
I thought, how the hell are they going to the bathroom?
Well, guess what? I'm going to call one of them who gave me permission, because she's on there. I hope. Wait, it's not coming through, is it? It's not coming through here. I got to make it.
I can hear it in the background.
No. I'm going to make it go through the board. Hold on.
It's not Stephanie, is it?
No, it's Stephanie's friend. No, if Stephanie was stuck up there, I'd be digging my way through that. So, oh wait, she's calling me back. Hold on.
Technical issues.
All right, let's go. Is this Brenda?
Yes, it is.
This is Tom Martino. We're on the air right now, as you agreed to. Brenda, we can't believe what is happening. Are you? How many people are on that bus?
Well, we started with 60, and half of the girls just got off the bus in Morrison, because we finally got moving after a 22-hour bus ride.
No, wait a minute. So how did this happen? You're on the bus heading to the mountain or away from the mountain?
Away. We skied all day yesterday.
Yeah.
At 3:30, we got on the bus and started on our way home to Denver. And we had a lot of problems because of the weather.
And so did he pull over, or was the road closed? Did the cops tell you? How did that happen?
We stopped multiple times, because after about 7 miles, as we had just gotten onto Vail Pass, there was a collision ahead of us. So we were backed up for miles and sat there for hours. When we finally got going again, we overheated our bus did anyway, the transmission. And then we proceeded, finally at 11 o'clock at night, because of the roads and accidents everywhere along the way, we finally made it as far as Idaho Springs, where we switched drivers. A driver from Denver came up, because our driver can only drive for so many hours. And in the process of turning into Idaho Springs, so we could switch drivers, we got stuck again. So it's been quite a ride.
Couldn't they have stopped? Isn't there any motels or hotels they could have stopped at in Idaho Springs or whatever?
Well, they were not letting us get off at Georgetown because it was overcrowded. And when we did get to Idaho Springs, we were just determined to keep going. and because we had a new driver, and we got the bus working. So we proceeded, and we finally, 22 hours later, are now pulling into Denver.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
Did it have a restroom on there?
Yes.
Oh.
We were worried about running out of toilet paper, but we survived. And we did run out of water and food.
Oh my
And we
gosh.
did have we had one diabetic on the bus, one of my friends.
Wow.
And somebody who got injured coming down the mountain yesterday because there was what they call thunder, lightning, snow, something like that, thunder snow. And everybody had to evacuate the mountain all at once. So there was multiple people getting hit by other skiers.
God.
So it's been quite an interesting ride.
Oh my goodness! So where exactly are you right now? You're pulling in?
Yeah, we're pulling into the parking lot where we all park our cars
Finally.
off of Hamden, and we will brush our cars off.
Maybe
we don't
call
have
John
shovels, so we might
Fuller.
use our skis to brush
Maybe
the
they should
snow
call one of
off.
our attorneys.
Yeah. I don't think they're thinking lawsuit, right? I think with an act of nature like this, what can you? Unless the bus wasn't equipped for some reason. I mean.
Oh no, the bus drivers were great. The bus, it wasn't their responsibility
Right.
to have food and water for us because it's normally a 2-hour drive.
You know, I wonder if people should have survival packs in their cars. I'm serious. I don't have one. I have warm clothes and a hat and gloves, but I don't have snacks or anything like that. I figure intermittent fasting wouldn't hurt me for 24 hours, but
Well,
I don't know.
You do miss water, and I'll tell you what else we miss is those of us who maybe need to take medication.
Yes,
We
of
didn't,
course.
We didn't have our medication. So, but we were warm because we were in ski clothes and they tried to
Right.
keep the heat on as much as they could.
Right.
And you know what? I prayed, and we have a very positive group of women. They're very vibrant and
Good.
positive.
Excellent.
And we were concerned not just about ourselves, but about everybody else on the road as well.
I wanted to ask you about that. I saw the story this morning on Fox 31, and I'm curious. The women's group, it said you guys go 10 times a year. What is it all about? How did you guys meet? What is the group?
Well, it was word of mouth, and we meet every Wednesday, and we ski together. You know, it's fun to ski with other people and safer also, and that's what it is. So
That's cool.
I love it. I love it.
As the group grew, we hired a professional bus driver. So part of the joy is that we don't have to do the driving.
That's very cool. So it's got to be a tradition now.
It is a tradition. Actually, I've been doing it for 20 years.
Wow. Is this the first time in all that time you've been stuck?
Yes, first time ever.
Wow.
I think in 2016 we had a flat tire and we were delayed a little bit, but no, we.
And then
this is
during
the first time.
the COVID years, the pandemic year, what did you do then? Did you still go?
We did.
Okay.
We did. We wore our masks. You know.
Yeah.
We did what we needed to do. So.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for being on. We appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, Tom, you're the ultimate problem solver. We
Yeah.
were going to have you send CDOT out for us.
We'll see
but,
ya.
They came anyway. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
for calling.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's great. Okay, so that was a live interview from a woman, Brenda, and
Boy, you know that's got to be a long 24 hours,
oh,
man.
God, I couldn't even imagine that. What a pain in the ass. But thank God I didn't know those buses had a restroom. I had no idea they had a restroom. Or, you know, it's just like in an airplane probably, one of those little restrooms. Now, being diabetic in and of itself can't hurt if you were, unless you had insulin, then didn't get to eat, then your blood goes low. And, of course, being high would be if you ate and couldn't get to your insulin. So either one, it would be high or low. But the low is the quicker danger, is the low. Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So most diabetics, it's not having too much sugar, it's lack of sugar.
No, too much. No, they usually, if you're diabetic, and you're not treated, you have too much sugar all the time, and then that slowly kills you. I mean, slowly, your organs and all of that. If you have low blood sugar, it instantly kills you if it's really low, right, Doc?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So too much insulin that you inject could kill you.
Or what happens to people, since I know so many diabetics like that, type 1, is they take insulin in anticipation sometimes of eating, or they and then they don't get to eat, or something happens like this, or they took too much after they ate, they miscalculated, and then they need like juice or something just to balance it out because they went too low. But the biggest danger is that over time, high sugar will ruin your legs and your arms and your kidneys and your bones and your everything. So it's high sugar.
What does these weight loss drugs like semaglutide or whichever ones? Well, hold on. Besides, so what I hear on the advertisements is a lot of them have nothing to do with weight loss. They use them if they're diabetic. Why would someone use semaglutide over insulin? Or you get to a certain point where semaglutide simply doesn't work and you have to use insulin?
No, that's a good question, though. It's not in place of insulin, is it? Or isn't it usually for a type 2 or is it a type 1?
Yeah, there's two main types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. And type 1, you do need insulin for. Type 2, actually, insulin is usually kind of the last straw.
Yeah, you don't want to use
You
insulin.
don't want to use it all. Most type 2s have too much insulin to begin with. So one of the things they found in this family of drugs called GLP-1 agonists, they started with liraglutide, which was an injection you had to do every day. Then they found out people would lose 4 or 5 pounds. And then they came up with semaglutide. And with semaglutide, people were losing 30, 40, 50 pounds in addition to the blood sugar control with diabetics. And that's why it's become such a popular weight loss drug.
Oh, wait. So the reason semaglutide lowers the diabetes or the A1C or the blood sugar level, whatever, is simply because it makes you lose weight? Or does it do it within itself? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it helps the sugar to come from the bloodstream into the cells. So it lowers your blood sugar, which is the goal of diabetes therapy, but it simultaneously seems to have effect on your gastrointestinal tract. So you both
drop weight.
Yeah, you don't eat as much, you get full more easily, and you lose your appetite. So people
and
eat
then when
less
you
on a
lose
number
the
of levels.
weight, your diabetes actually gets more under control.
Yeah, so it really is a double-edged sword. The semaglutide series of drugs, including the new one, Martino or tirzepatide, has just revolutionized weight loss medicine, and they're now saying that these drugs are just as good as a stomach bypass surgery is.
Hey, when we come back from break, Doc, can you talk a little more about the Alzheimer's drug you were talking about coming out in a year or two?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
That sounds amazing because over the years I have heard everything. My grandmother died at 94. Her last 3 years with Alzheimer's was absolutely horrific. I mean, she was a vegetable basically. And I've heard everything from smoking cigarettes and drinking and anything else in the world helps not get Alzheimer's, but it sounds like something might finally be there.
It absolutely is. And it's not that far off.
So let's talk about hormones in general. We talked about blood work. We talked about screening, monitoring, measuring, and treating. But hormones. Where do they play in? And is it for everyone? And I contend everyone will eventually need hormone therapy of some kind because we run out.
Well, I think that since I've been testing hormone levels on people, I've been very surprised to find that it's not just a problem for 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds, but in fact, we have men and women in their 20s and 30s, and their hormone levels are low. And one of the ways that we stay feeling youthful is having youthful levels of hormones. So if we do testing on a patient, we find that they have low levels of hormones, and we're able to balance them to more youthful levels.
All right, break
they
when you
feel
can,
better, and they age better.
All right, we got to take a break. I'm Tom Martino, 303 713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And, of course, you can always call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. One Clear Choice Garage Doors, your choice for garage doors, whether it be the opener. And if you have an emergency today, they make emergency calls. Like some people can't get their door closed or the cold screws with it. They do adjustments and all of that. All of the prices on the website, oneclearchoicedoors.com.
It's the best time of the year. It's buy one, get one free time on select Redbird Farms chicken products at King Soopers and City Market. Stop by your local store for buy one, get one free burgers and individually wrapped 5-piece chicken breasts. Redbird Farms chicken is the juicy, tender, all-natural chicken that will always make your dinners delicious.
Grill it, fry it, put it in parm. As long as you make it Redbird Farms.
All right. RKC Automotive is a friendly, value-minded auto repair shop that I'm happy to have aboard. Auto repairs, what are they? Well, first of all, you got to diagnose. You have to have skill. And then you have to have the honesty to fix it the right way and not to just suggest a bunch of stuff. Ramondo prides himself on value and honesty and efficiency. You get in and out. He doesn't keep cars for days and months. You know, you really have to see RKC Automotive. It's a small operation. When I say small, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they personalized attention, and they really care about their customers. 720-749-3965. 720-749-3965 on Evans, just west of Tejon, and you can find them on Facebook, RKC Automotive. Genesis Total Exteriors, the name says it all. They do exterior work, everything from the roof, fascia, soffits, siding. They can even convert you to stucco. They do windows and doors and decks, railings, painting, outbuildings. So if you have storm damage, think about that. One source, one place to go, all on one invoice and one point of contact. Mark Szymanski, someone you can trust in the home improvement industry. And speaking of home improvement, they do more than just insurance damage. If you want to do an addition to your home or finish a basement or a bathroom or do anything, they can do it all, including commercial finish for tenants who are renting a place and need to finish it out. 303-679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
All right, 405-3604.
What?
Put Dak in timeout right now. Put him in
Why?
timeout or I'll relinquish your powers. I gave one of our YouTubers, I was going to say mediation, moderator. Oh, okay, Dak, you bastard. Dak the bastard. Moderator. 405. Get rid of Dak. Do it now or I'll get rid of you.
YouTube.
I'm wielding power.
Ten seconds, guys.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, waterpros.net. You can get a whole house system for around $3,500, the best water systems. And that's going to be at least half, if not a third or a quarter of what you'll find with plumbers for whole house water systems. Hey, let's talk. And by the way, that's waterpros.net, 303-862-5554. Any of your calls, problems, questions, complaints, give us a call. We have time left. And then we have Dr. Grossman with us, Terry Grossman from Grossman Wellness. It's that's what it is. It's a wellness clinic. And so we talked about how when you go there for a flat monthly fee, depending on the program, you get your supplements, a lot of your prescriptions, you get your blood work and your consultations and constant monitoring on a 3-month interval. And then, of course, you can call or text them at any time. And then you also get, of course, the measuring, monitoring, and all of the quantitative stuff. Hormones is something we didn't talk about. We talked about blood. We talked about cancer screening and testing, which, that's an extra test, but it's a wonderful test. And it can find cancer at its very earliest stages and been responsible for saving a lot of lives. Dr. Grossman, on a side note with that, I'm surprised more and more people don't do it. It's just because it's expensive, right?
I think that's the reason.
I mean, and that, of course, it is expensive. But, wow, if you have cancer in your family, so this will detect even a breast cancer?
Yes, it will. Yeah, that's one of the 50 it tests for.
Okay, so on the hormone thing, hormones, we run out, right? Or they're depleted over time.
They diminish, yes, over time.
Our ability to make them diminishes, or we have one supply that diminishes?
Well, actually, those hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, they are made out of cholesterol. So you start with the cholesterol molecule and you make some modifications, and then it turns into these hormones. And when we're young, we tend to do it very well. We make a lot of hormones, and as we get older, we make relatively less and yet less. Well, it's hard to stimulate the body to change that, so we just use replacement. In other words, we take those hormones.
Is that what they call bioidentical?
Yeah, bioidentical means we use the hormones that are biologically identical to what you had when you were younger. They're not drugs.
And the main hormones main hormones are testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, those kinds of
things? Those are, when we think of hormones, we think of sex hormones.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 main sex hormones. But we also have thyroid hormones. We have sleep hormones like melatonin. So there's insulin is a hormone of blood sugar. But when we talk about hormone replacement therapy, generally people think about testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone.
Now, when they do that, what is the controversy? You don't know how many people I've heard say, Tom, you're doing testosterone, that's bad for your heart. Where did they get that from?
There was actually a study, a VA study that was done a few years ago that came up with the conclusion that men who took testosterone had a higher incidence of heart disease. This has since been refuted by multiple other studies. And, so much misinformation.
In fact, the other study shows that it's a guard. It's a
It's a
safeguard.
guard, exactly, that it prevents heart disease.
Right.
And it was the same thing with prostate cancer. Years ago, 10, 15 years ago, oh my goodness, you're taking testosterone, you're going to get prostate cancer. Now, more urologists than not will urge men that have prostate cancer, in many cases, to take testosterone to help prevent it from occurring. So,
okay, the next one was about estrogen. That is very controversial. I can't tell you how many women said it's going to cause cancer.
once again, there was a study, and this study was sponsored by the drug company that made Premarin.
What's Premarin?
Premarin was a type of estrogen called conjugated equine estrogen. It came from pregnant horse urine.
Yeah.
And they isolated this compound. They called it Premarin. It was a prescription drug, and the drug company wanted to prove how healthy it was for women to take this. Well, the study blew up in their faces, and they found out that it didn't. It actually increased the risk of blood clots, breast cancer, and a number of other issues. And as a result, doctors all over the country quit prescribing what was then the main estrogen, which was Premarin. Well, they threw the baby out with the bathwater. There was a subgroup of physicians, nutritional, functional medicine doctors, that continued to prescribe bioidentical estrogen. Bioidentical estrogen has not been shown to have those negative side effects. I mean, is it 100% perfectly safe? No. In certain women, like with a history of breast cancer, history of blood clots, they should stay away from estrogen. But for most women, estrogen replacement therapy, progesterone replacement therapy, if monitored correctly with pap smears and mammograms, et cetera, can be very, very safe.
So the ones that should stay away are which ones specifically?
Well, with testosterone?
No, with estrogen.
With estrogen
women.
itself, I would say history of endometrial cancer, history of breast cancer.
Can it feed that cancer?
It can.
Okay.
It can. So history of blood clots. Those are kind of
But
three
if
of
you
the big
don't
ones.
have the cancer or don't have the history
Or
of
a
it,
family history.
Okay.
You know, like if your mother or sister
right. So
had
if
breast
somebody
cancer,
had a lumpectomy or had problems, they shouldn't be on estrogen, you're saying?
if it were an estrogen receptor positive cancer, there's different kinds of
Okay,
so there's more, a little bit more complexity to it.
So
But
there's
in
certain
general,
people,
yeah.
but those are very few and far between that should stay away, do you think, from estrogen?
The majority of women can
gonna
safely
wanna
take
break here when you
bioidentical
can.
estrogen, can safely take bioidentical progesterone, but it's not 100%. As you said before, one size does not fit all.
Right.
We have to individualize it for that specific woman.
And men need a certain amount of estrogen.
Men need a little bit of estrogen, true. The problem is that if you're over 50, a 50-year-old man has more estrogen in his body than a 50-year-old woman. And women need estrogen, and men really don't need much.
Right.
So it's like...
How do you reduce estrogen?
There are both supplements like zinc and medications like anastrozole. And when we put a man on testosterone, his estrogen level will often go up, and we'll monitor that, and we'll use the appropriate either supplement or drug to bring it down so that it's safe.
So it's a balance.
It's a balance, absolutely.
We have more coming up. I'm Tom Martino.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Most of the wintry weather is cleared up on the roads and freeways throughout the Denver metro. The same can't be said for out west, C470 westbound. We've got an off-ramp closure to I-70 involving an accident with an overturned vehicle. I-70 east and westbound remain closed for safety concerns between Central City and the Denver metro. On the north end of town, I-25 southbound, watch out for a crash off on the right shoulder approaching E470 Northwest Parkway. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. Snow continues throughout Thursday with a high of 35 degrees, overnight low of 27. Scattered snow showers tomorrow as well with a high of 41. The current temperature in Denver is 32 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
You know, I really I really love when I have clients that I've known for years, and it's like the whole 45 years I've known K&H Home Solutions. They started out as K&H Windows. Henry Zeligan owned them, and then Ted took over, and now Lee Diamond. And now they've moved into bathroom remodeling. What I love is they've kept that culture of and the heritage of K&H from the very beginning, and they do excellent work. So it really is a company that's withstood 65 years of continual service. And if you're doing a bathroom remodel, you might want to check with K&H Home Solutions. They would love to sit down with you, and it's free of charge to go over anything you'd want to do in your bathroom, whether it's the shower space, the toilet, or everything. And you can depend on them. 303-421-7100. Value and integrity and beautiful solutions. 303-421-7100. khwindows.com. Hey, Lazy Days, what does that say to you? Well, it's an RV operation, probably one of the largest in the entire country. If you go to lazydays.com, you can find the locations around Denver, including a maintenance facility at exit 240 and I-25. I like Lazy Days because they are truly the RV authority, including up north that used to be a Century RV. It's now Lazy Days RV of Denver at Longmont. And that's lazydays.com. Their number up there for that maintenance facility, 303-453-1111. Oh, man, it's really... So it should be...
tomorrow.
Does the doctor take patients that are already on tirzepatide?
Possible.
Yeah, you can convert them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish increasing the time to cover the entire show. The show with Dr. Grossman has been fabulous. I would love to have been able to have heard the whole show. It is on the podcast. I don't know what he's talking about.
What they're saying is that they want me on the whole show as opposed to listening to the other stuff.
What is
Corn
the
frogs?
best low sugar fruit? Berries are, right?
Berries and melons.
Okay, we'll talk about that. And then, God almighty, you know what, man? I've never had more positive text. These people love health, the text people. Holy shit. Ask Dr. Grossman about hormone health. We did that, pros and cons of taking. What kind of delivery for the testosterone? I'm sure they want to know pellets versus shots. You know what? There was nothing wrong with the pellets, but
Pellets or shots.
you know, you do both. And,
Yeah.
and the thing is I just got tired of having scars on my
Yeah,
ass.
right. Guys do shots for a few years, and they do pellets for a few
Maybe
years,
I
and they
might
go
go
back to
back,
shots
yeah.
for a few. They flip-flop.
But the shots are so easy.
Yeah. I would say
I
for
can regulate
men,
them better.
for men, 90% are shots. For women, about 60% are shots.
Now the thing is with my shots, I do 2 days a week.
Twice a week. Most
Which is
men do.
better than once a week.
Yeah, much better.
Would I asked you this once before, 3 days a week would even be better if you divided it, right?
Sure, 7 days a week would be even better.
Oh, I see
But,
what you're
you know,
saying. But you
because
gotta
your
be-
levels will be perfect. But
Oh, okay.
You got to weigh risk against. It's
Yeah.
like a nuisance giving yourself a shot every day. So most guys,
They
twice
just-
a week is good enough.
Yeah.
That works.
Yep. I absolutely do Sunday and Wednesday.
Perfect. Perfect. My testosterone is fine, but my estrogen went sky high. So I take the estrogen lowerer, anastrozole.
You don't have to take testosterone.
I don't have to. I got plenty of it. Yeah, I got
No
plenty.
shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Why did that happen?
I got guys that got levels higher than me that are older than me. I don't know. But my estrogen's too damn high.
Oh, right.
And I take that freaking anastrozole, I get fucking hot flashes.
Do you?
I take zinc instead.
So, I didn't realize that there could be men. I thought you automatically
No.
depleted it.
No, hell, I got guys that are in their 90s and they got levels of testosterone 850.
Oh, come on.
No, seriously.
Oh.
So everybody's different. It's all personalized.
I'm-
Everybody's different. And I got guys in their 20s, they can't get it up. They don't have any testosterone. I mean, the Did you know that?
10 seconds.
Guys who are
Find out more at denverneuropathy.com.
long.
Address hair loss with the same simple one-day treatment I received. AdvancedHair.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, we got a lot of questions for the doctor, but Samantha first has a follow-up. 2014 Jeep Wrangler, an issue with the warranty. Samantha, I'm trying to find your original call here about your car. So tell me about it. I'm here. I don't see
Hi,
you.
can you hear me?
I don't. Yeah. I don't see us. Let's see. I'm trying to find your call. Yeah, just refresh me here. And go ahead, Samantha.
Okay.
It was a 2014 that you bought, and after 40 days, the transmission went out, right? But here, I think the issue was you had a warranty, right?
Yes.
And it was 129,000 miles on the car, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I forget. I don't have notes here on how we left this. It said that I told you to do something here. I'm trying to find my notes. Your mom bought a used 2014 Jeep Wrangler. Okay, so did the warranty cover it or not?
So that's why I'm calling. The warranty is only covering 3,800.
Okay.
Let me pull up my notes.
Now, why?
Yes.
The warranty is covering 3,800.
Let's see. So it's 3,862.
Why? How'd they come up with that figure?
Okay, so it's 3 different charges. It's the transmission, the gasket, and the differential. I did speak with the body shop, and they gave them this amount, and they said, okay, we're only going to cover the 3,862.
But how much was the total bill, Samantha?
¿Cuánto es el total bill, Emma?
How much is the total bill?
It's 4,450.
Okay, so why have they chosen not to pay that $600? Why aren't they paying that?
That's what I just spoke with them, and they said call the dealership or the body shop and ask them what's that extra. I called the body shop. They said it's not extra. We told them this amount, and they decided to give us this different amount.
Okay, so Samantha, they're saying the body shop, why did it go to a body shop for a transmission?
Because of the warranty, they told us we can take it to any body shop, so that's where we took it to the Larry Miller Jeep.
Is this where the drive shaft broke or something?
No.
Okay, I got the wrong one. I just wondered why a body shop is fixing a transmission.
I'm sure they're not. They probably sent it out.
Right, the warranty sending them the transmission.
Okay. So, here's the thing. Whatever the warranty covers, it covers. Whatever it doesn't, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. What we need to figure out is why they're not paying the whole bill. The the shop says they told the warranty company how much it was going to be, right?
Right.
And the warranty company approved it, but they're not paying it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Do you have a deductible that you have to pay?
Yes, just do $250 is the deductible.
Is that so? Is the 38? And if you put the $250, does that mean that the warranty is only shorting you $400 and something or $300 and something?
Eso es más.
Here's what I need. I need to know this. Your $250 deductible, okay? So you're paying your company's paying $3,862, and then you're covering $250. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so the balance due is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 and something dollars, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what is in question. We have to figure out what it is. So I'm going to have somebody call up. Can we have Dak call over there? I heard you put him in timeout. I don't know what that means, Mark, but okay.
Yeah, of course he can call over there.
Okay. I'm going to have our deputy call over. We just have to figure out what the bill is and what is not covered.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the warranty company is looking at it saying, we're not covering this. And I don't know why. Okay. Did they tell you why? What did they say?
So they said, call them and ask what's this extra. And I said, hey, they gave me the prices. I broke it down for him. He said, oh, well, we don't understand why.
Okay, do you have the
This is
invoice?
extra.
Do you have the invoice?
¿Tiene el invoice, Emma? No. They haven't even started
Well,
because we're
they
going
got to
back
give
and
you.
forth
They
with
have
it.
to give you an. Oh, they haven't started the work yet.
Not yet. Because,
Okay, good. Then we're going to call. Okay, that's why you don't have an invoice. Hold on. We need a breakdown of the charges. Give this to Chopper, and let's see what he can do with it. Samantha, okay? Hang on. 303-713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by College Invest.
Looks like most of the roads and freeways throughout the Denver area have calmed down after this morning's intense wintry weather. I-25.
Tom, Mark wants us to know that he has to go help his neighbor, so he's signing off right now.
Got
It's easy driving to DIA. The same can't be said for out west into the high country. I-70 east and westbound remain closed for safety concerns between C-470 and Silverthorne. And south of there, C-470 westbound, watch out for a crash on the off-ramp to I-70. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. Snow continues throughout the rest of the day. We're expecting 1 to 2 inches every hour or so. High 35. Snow continuing into tomorrow where it'll taper off. The current temperature in Denver is 33 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, Mark Swan, 630 K-House.
It's tax season, which could be saving season if you open a college savings account with College Invest. Not only will you be saving for college, you could earn a Colorado income tax deduction for 2024. Start saving today at collegeinvest.org.
Made in the Shade. If you're looking for window coverings, it's a clever name, but they also have a great way of doing business. First, they come to your house with a designer and a measurer. They measure everything free. They have a designer suggest what you need, where you need it, and they come up with a package trying to meet your budget. If you agree, then they order all the stuff, take delivery, and guess what? Put it all up with a guarantee on the installation with all the major brands of window coverings, including shades, shutters, curtains, whatever you need, they have, and it's made in the shade because they make it easy. All one stop. DenverShades.co. DenverShades.co. 720-458-6566. What's that mean? Okay, we're done with that. I just need to do.
I would think so, but if the client doesn't care, then...
Hey, so that was my last break, right? I actually have time.
Correct.
Oh, my goodness. I surprised myself by doing things correctly.
What are you going to do with,
I got
4
my
minutes?
doc here, and we got a lot of text questions. I contend.
Re-record that spot?
What?
Are you going to re-record that spot that just played?
Shut up!
Okay.
I am so tired. Is that the one with zero res?
Yeah, it's not really great.
Is it really that bad, for God's sakes? I'm going to go look at it.
Yeah, it's
Here.
not good.
Hold
It
on.
makes you turn your head, which can be a good thing.
No, is it really that bad? Seriously.
Yes.
Everyone, why do some of, hold on, let me look. And it's the one the one about spring March, right? Hold on.
It's very staticky, kind of overmodulated.
Okay, I'm going to look. I might have I got to find this because I'm just so pissed off when people tell me this.
I
Which
blame
one?
Mark.
I have 3 of them. Is it the 15
We're totally blaming Mark.
No, it's, why would it be Mark?
Because.
Okay, is it the 30, 60, or 15?
Give me 1 second. I'll take a look.
Because I'm going to play it.
Might be the 15.
Just tell me, and I want to look at it.
Wait. Oh, I'm in Mandy's log.
I think it was the 30. No, it was the 60. I don't know.
30.
30? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Not too early to think about spring cleaning. The best way to get your whole house cleaned? Zero Res. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. That one?
Yeah, it sounds like whoever put it in the system put it in wrong because that sounded better than what we heard here.
Mine is great. Listen to it. Not too early to think. Oh, I got to put it back on here. No, I'm serious. I have no idea why that sounds creepy because I'm just playing it now. Let me just do this again. And then, honest to God, let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, play it again.
I got to put it on this stupid, this damn thing. Hold on. Roadcaster output. Come on, Bray. Come on. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Martino. First, carpets, 3 rooms starting at just $109 with a free hallway, then $75 off duct cleaning. Talk about really clean and staying clean. No dirt. I have no red levels on this.
No, let it keep rolling.
Martino. First, carpets, 3 rooms starting at just $109 with a free hallway, then $75 off duct cleaning. Talk about really clean and staying clean. No dirt attracting residue from soaps or chemicals. Just purified, super soft water. The best cleaning agent in nature. Call now. 303-471-5150. 471-5150. Or ZeroResDenver.com.
Here's what we hear.
Not too early to think about spring cleaning. The best way to get your whole house cleaned? Zero Res. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. First, carpets, 3 rooms starting at just $109 You with hear a a free difference? hallway, then $75 off duct cleaning. Talk about clean. Should I email it to you again?
I would email whoever the salesperson is and let them know. But yeah, your copy's clean. They must have just recorded it in the system too hot.
That is weird. I'm going to even bring it down a notch when I send it to them because if they're going to boost. Let's see. Yeah, this is even better. I have no flats on it either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. First,
No,
carpet.
It's clear as day that yours sounds better than the one that we have.
All right, good. I'm going to send that to my rep here.
Yeah, just say, hey, please reload this.
Okay.
Got complaints that the other one was too raspy. I don't know. Whatever. 10 seconds.
It's Roger Stone, and bands are pulling out of South by Southwest. I'll tell you why on the Joe Pag Show. Tonight from 6 to 9 on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, let's finish up with Dr. Grossman. So we were talking about other things, hormones we went into. Now, I have some text questions I want to get to. Delivery of testosterone and all of that. So shots versus pellets?
Yeah, those are the most common ways. Typically, oral testosterone doesn't work well.
Okay.
The creams can sometimes work, but really the best delivery method for testosterone is either an injection, and people can do them at home. Typically, women do them once a week, men do them twice a week, or pellets. Women prefer the pellets a lot because, honestly, a pellet of testosterone for a woman is a glorified grain of rice. It's tiny, takes 2 minutes to insert, no scar, no stitches or anything like that. Men, it's a little bit more involved, but some men prefer it, particularly if they travel a lot, airplane pilots and things along those lines. But either of those are perfect, and people feel good with either method.
Okay, now, as far as fruit, they want to know what fruits are good, what fruits are better. I think you want the higher fiber and lower sugar fruits, right?
Yeah, the higher fiber, lower glycemic fruits, and the best ones on that scale are typically melons and berries.
Berries. So like
except
blueberries.
watermelon. Watermelon doesn't count. Okay. But cantaloupes and honeydew, things like that.
And, so strawberries, blueberries,
Strawberries,
raspberries.
blueberries, raspberries, yeah, they're great.
And,
low glycemic.
Okay. What about, let's see, they want to, somebody wants to know about how do you measure health overall, though? I mean, are you concentrating just on the cancer in the heart, or can you improve total health?
Well,
actually improve total health.
You can, and what we say, the phrase is, you're only as healthy as your least healthy part. So you have to go through and analyze everything. I mean, how healthy are you if you've got an ankle that you can't walk on? I mean, everything else worked great.
Right.
And how healthy are you if you can't breathe because you got untreated asthma? So we have to evaluate everything. And that involves lung tests, that involves brain tests, that involves blood tests, hormone tests, etc.
Okay, we have a question here about erectile dysfunction. Do you handle, like when people are in your program, what do you not handle? I guess I could tell you what you don't handle. I don't think you handle, you refer, like back pain and pain, right? You don't handle back pain, right?
Right. Okay. There's things we can do. And
right, of course.
I don't think I can help people. We send them out.
And you help me with exercise recommendations and supplements and that stuff. I'm talking about, if you need a chiropractor, I mean, you go to a chiropractor, or if you need surgery, you need surgery. But what about, like, as far as at the clinic, you don't what would you say you don't handle? If somebody has the flu and they're part of your program, can they text you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So as a concierge program, we're available to people for whatever they need. So if people have the flu, even though they're on a hormone program, we're happy to take care of that issue for them.
Okay, so it's a full service clinic, but not primary care, technically.
Not technically. We ask that people have their own primary care doctors that their insurance will pay for if they need it.
Right.
But our goal in preventive medicine is they don't need that.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're out of time. Grossman Wellness, $249 for the introduction. That's with blood work, consultation, and everything you need to get a snapshot of where you stand. And then they make recommendations. That's 303-233-4247.
You're clear. We're
done. Thanks,
Tom
man.
Martino.
See you, buddy.
We're done. Now we can fight the